Welcome back. Welcome back to the Quantum Show. We're on hour 2 plus, and we have our Keith Andrews and Lynn Ann in the studio with us, across the planet, across the continent. Welcome back, y'all.
Well,
Well,
thank you
thanks
for
for having
having
us,
us.
man.
Okay, so I was talking about personal power, and that included manifestation. So I wanted to keep going with that.
Well, we've talked about manifestation back and forth for quite some time, really.
Yeah.
And it's not a half an hour conversation. It really isn't.
Oh, sure
It
it is.
well, it can
Because
be,
you
I
won't get
suppose.
anything.
If you want to hit the highlights and never explain any of it, I suppose half an hour I get it.
Yeah. Now,
But
manifestation, it works.
yeah, it does. I had my best girlfriend passed away about 12 years ago, 13. And she passed, I did not know she was gone. She went that fast. And I usually will feel something when I lose a loved one, and she was very loved and most cared for. And I was absolutely distraught. Devastated is a good word for it. She had just been my best buddy for quite a long time, and she taught me manifesting. And I thought if I just had something of hers, I would be able to feel better. You know, just
Hmm.
like that. And my ex-husband came to my house and he says, "I got to show you what I just found in the trash." I'm like, "Are you dumpster diving again?" He goes, "What's wrong with that?" Well, there's reasons. Anyway,
Vacuum cleaners.
I'm sorry, Frank.
Vacuum cleaners.
Don't even start with me about vacuum sweepers. Anyway, he showed me a very tiny little jewelry box. And in that box was my friend's ring that she loved to wear. It was if it wasn't hers, it was an exact copy of it.
Mm.
And of course, that will never leave my sight anymore. You know, but it's like like Frank just said. My son needed a vacuum sweeper. He
Hmm.
needed a vacuum sweeper, any vacuum sweeper would do. And I put it out there to the universe that my son needed a vacuum sweeper.
Hmm.
Rule number one: when you go to manifest something, be specific.
Right.
In the
Would be an
next
idea,
two
yeah.
weeks, yeah, in the next 2 weeks, I had 24 vacuum sweepers show up in my backyard. I am not kidding. All different shapes and sizes and brands. And I couldn't
Did
get
they
it
wait?
stopped. It kept going for another 6 months. And I have witnesses to this. You were saying it, Keith?
I said, did they work?
Yes, every single one of them. They were in perfect condition. So we ended up okay, freely given, freely give, right? So
But
we
yeah,
started
obviously.
giving away vacuum sweepers. I couldn't stay ahead of it till I would get another one in the backyard. I put them in Craigslist. Just come and get these darn things. But people got vacuum sweepers that needed them, and so did my son. And and I said, "Which one do you want?" He says, "Well, I just need one." I said, "Yes, I know."
I
So it
know you
was
only need
crazy.
one. I just want to know which one.
I'm sorry, Keith, say again.
I said, I know you only need one. I just want to know which one.
Yeah. so I can get rid of the rest.
Okay, we got
But
somebody coming in. Connell is coming in. Hey,
How you doing
Connell,
there, Con?
welcome
hi,
to the
Connell.
show.
Hello, hello, hello. Unfortunately, I need a vacuum cleaner, but I need a special type of vacuum cleaner. I need
And
the
you need to
flying
say
kind that
so.
they had. What was it in Hocus Pocus? The one that it flew. That's the vacuum
Yeah, I
cleaner
know the
I
one
need.
you're talking about.
Well, you know what us witches say about vacuum sweepers. They go like crazy right up until you reach the end of the cord.
Well, that's why. Like, one of my friends had like
That's good. That's good.
a got about
Connell,
75.
we've learned some technical stuff. Go into your settings and go to your sound
Yeah.
and your turn off auto mic volume and dial it down because you're blasting me over here.
Okay. Does that sound better?
Turn it down some more.
I can do that.
Go ahead, say something.
Hey,
One,
Connell,
two.
just scream really loud into the thing. See how well that works.
Where you're at right now,
Yeah.
perfect.
All
Does that
right.
sound okay to everybody?
From my
I
standpoint, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm
Is my
sorry.
mic okay?
Huh?
Is my mic okay?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay.
Yeah, but your
Yeah.
camera's a little bland.
I know. I know. I figure if I can't see anything, nobody else should either. Now, being honest and specific about it, I have all the lights off so that I can see anything on the computer. So, I do pretty good with that. So I'm happy and joyful for that. But as soon as I have these cataracts off, all deals are off.
Yeah.
So manifesting destiny, is that the topic of tonight?
Not exactly. That's included, but it is personal power and affecting reality.
And I was going to say, who is Destiny? Who is she?
She is a little Puerto Rican woman that lives down in Florida. Her nickname is also Karma. So it depends on how she comes into your life. She normally wrecks it.
If you none of that, then she's related to Murphy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was going to say, karma's
that's
a
her
very
third husband.
positive thing.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
you have good karma, boy. You got it made. And there's lots of ways to make karma good, or better anyway, depending
Next
on
you
how
get out a
bad
big
it's
lawsuit,
been.
she'll behave.
Paying it forward. That's a very muggle way of putting it.
It is. It's
And
not
people
a
can
bad
understand it.
start though.
Yeah, people can understand it. And I am glad that there is something that they can understand. Muggles, I mean.
Yeah, it's nice they trip across it once in a while.
In Beetlejuice, when they were first in the underworld, the receptionist or the intake secretary said to them, "The
Yep.
dead or the living won't see the dead." You know, and I really took that to heart. What am I refusing to see? you know, and it makes a big difference. Some of the wild things we do. I said, it's like some of the very negative things that we come across with. Oh, I'll never get that, or I'll never see that happen, or I'd want to do this, but it will never happen. That sort of negative talk. The universe's answer to everything is yes.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
is. It's yes.
It really
And if
is. So
you,
you go, I want to have this. It goes, I desire to experience a lack thereof. Okay.
yeah, exactly. It
Yeah.
does that.
Okay, well, have fun wanting. That's what it says. That's another way of
Mhm.
putting it. Have fun
Yeah.
wanting. You got it. Have fun wanting.
Yeah. So you should, when you want to manifest something, you should be extremely careful about it, as I well know.
Right. Right.
And vacuum sweepers, lots and lots of vacuum sweepers.
I
You
mean, look at
know.
me Look at me when I manifested the idea of getting off the planet. I forgot to mention, don't bring me back. Well, if you have,
I uh,
You
I
need to be
made
careful.
the misfortune of asking for patience when I was younger.
Oh,
you
you
became a
got lots
doctor.
of that.
I was a very angry and very angry kid. I guess that's just the best way to put it. And I ended up unfortunately hurting a friend of mine when we were younger. And I'm like, man, I gotta learn patience. I gotta learn how to, see past the red. And
Hmm.
things got interesting for me for a while. I eventually learned patience, but I can see past the red. Just sometimes I really just don't want to.
And anger doesn't want to understand. It just wants to be angry. It,
Yeah, I didn't have a problem seeing past the red. There was all this black and gooey stuff afterwards.
yeah, really.
There's a what was it?
all teasing aside,
Five.
patience and grace is a superpower, and that's no lie. And
Oh,
if
there
you can
truly
learn
is.
it,
It truly is. There's a line from one of my favorite songs, Five Finger Death Punch, is finding peace after the rage.
well,
Yeah,
in
which makes
being
sense.
mindful of it all. I get angry too, and I can really go off like a 21 gun salute. And once I take a breath and realize, okay, my ego is yapping and it's got no business in my business, then I can get a handle on it. Usually humor helps, but
Yeah, I don't have a sense of humor.
yeah, well, when I say humor, I mean if I can laugh at me, I'm three-quarters of the way getting through being that angry. And when I say I can be a 21 gun salute, I'm not kidding. I can run through a wall in that condition. And
Yeah,
it's not pleasant and it's not good for anybody, including me.
Hmm.
So, and I understand anger.
I'm talking
My
about
son
it.
is extremely angry about things often, and he's better about it because he used to run through walls too. Oh, mom can do it, I can do better. So anyway, when uh, when we experience anger, you have to look at where you're really coming from. Are you offended? Are you are you trying to defend a belief? Are you trying to uh, are you upset with something that has happened? And how can you mitigate those circumstances? And all that has to hit your brain at the same time.
Hmm.
And it's a superpower to be able to lasso that energy and say, here's what's going to happen. And when we say it like that, and maybe in the case of a bad service rep, okay, they've absolutely messed you up 6 ways from Sunday. They have destroyed what you've tried to do, and now you're really flippin' angry. Boy, are you mad! And the thing is, we expect a certain level of professionalism. We expect a certain uh, service from that individual. They have come up short. And in all that moment, you have to decide, okay, am I going to freak out and screw this up 6 ways from Sunday more? Or am I going to cool out, calm down, step away for a minute maybe, and then come back and say, okay, here's what I want to see happen. And they're usually really glad to see that you have a plan because they don't. They have no idea how to handle you.
Right. They're looking for instruction, and you provide it. Like a lot of
Exactly.
people do that. A lot of people are like, "Please tell me what to do. I don't know what to do." And you did.
Yeah, just tell them how you want to see it happen. Now they may not be able to do that. They may not be able to uh, accommodate you entirely in the way you wish to see. But when you say I don't want, then the universe hears that. Remember that thing we were talking about? It's
Yeah,
listening
that's
all
where the
of the
term "be careful
time.
what you wish for, you might just get it" comes in.
Exactly. So, be exceptionally careful with that, but not just that. You're treating another human being,
Mm.
usually it's a human being, you know, uh, are you treating them with respect? Are you being decent? Um, they know you're mad, and that scares them on a real primal level. At least does anybody I've spoken to. And, you know, how
Now,
can you
being
get this
empathic,
thing
it kind of
friendly?
comes with territory.
And that's manifesting a good outcome for your complaint. You know, don't just pick up the phone and start screaming. Have a plan. And if that person can't get you where you're going, and I mean is uninterested, can't handle it, whatever, starts crying, I don't know. Ask for a supervisor. At that point, now they escalate it, and you treat that supervisor so nice. I just don't seem to be able to get my point across here, blah, 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 yak, yak, yak. And usually supervisors say, how can I fix this for you? Because they want instructions too. It's weird. It used to be the
Yeah, I run
service
into a
person
problem
would
with
say,
that.
here's my parameters of service. How can we fit you in this? And they still are, but it is not a situation that they have much leeway in anymore. They really don't
See,
have it.
the, the problem I ran into is I found out after I had my stroke that my ability to actually compensate, to physically compensate for the problem, is almost non existent, which creates its own problem.
Oh boy, does it.
Hey, Joe, welcome back to the Quantum Show. I just saw you come into the chat. You have a link in your Facebox or Facebook inbox. I've been messing with my words. I'm tired.
Yeah,
Just
I
a little
can't
bit
see
of throat
anything.
will never hurt anybody.
Most people say, how can I manifest this huge thing out here in this future when they can't manifest in their day-to-day existence? And that's where you
Oddly enough, it's
start.
easier.
You start in your day-to-day. I'm sorry, say?
I said, oddly enough, I find it easier to manifest the long range than the short range.
You're wired backwards. So am
Well,
I.
yes, we know that. Oh, you should have seen what my freaking phone did the other day. I was on FaceTime. I was on FaceTime on my phone, right? And I'm talking on my phone, on FaceTime. My phone, while I'm talking on FaceTime, phoned my little brother.
I've had things like that happen.
I didn't think it was even possible.
Yeah, my phone decided to call my friend one day, and I got their dog, and the dog and I had a wonderful conversation. Of course, I speak to dogs, and his in particular, and at some point he realized that his dog was lit up somehow. you know, she was sitting on it, so. I guess she enjoyed the vibration. We won't even go there, Nathan. I know what you're thinking.
I don't think I'm old enough for this conversation.
Neither was the dog. Oh my. That was an interesting day though. You know, I it, we were talking about anger. I can literally, if I get mad enough, I can literally shut down a computer. just with
I used
that
to do that
energy.
getting agitated. I
Yeah,
used to
just with
get that way when I get nervous.
yeah, yeah,
I have had
I
weird
like to
things
think.
happen when I get angry too. Not very often, but I don't get angry anymore. But things fall over, things move. It's crazy.
yeah,
No,
Very
I get.
yeah.
Carrie.
I
And
did it one day in the airport security. I was going through customs, and I'd gotten somewhat lost. So I was running behind time. So of course I was injured in a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chair, and I flash fried their entire security system.
I bet you weren't their favorite person.
Well, I was one of their more memorable ones.
For sure. You know, we manifest every day. We say to ourselves, "Okay, I'm going to get up out of this bed." And eventually you do. And then we decide on some breakfast. It never does not happen by itself. You have to take the egg out. You got to fry
Oh,
that
I don't
thing
know.
and the bacon.
Years ago, I just gotten up and my other half was was laying in the bed beside me, and I said, "Oh, I gotta freaking make coffee." Now, bear in mind, the coffee pot I had was a 2 cup pot that you could not program, right? So I never moved. I just said I gotta get the coffee made, right? Never moved. About 10 minutes later, we're heading out front, and you hear this gurgling noise. And she goes, "What the heck is that?" I said, "It's my coffee. I told you I needed it made." She goes, "But you didn't leave the room." I said, "I didn't say I had to leave the room. I said I had to make the coffee."
Oh, we're gonna have to trade notes.
I think you're much more connected than a lot of us.
Yeah, he's more connected than I am, and I consider myself fairly well connected.
Well, I was told by the first psychic I ever worked with. She says, "Look, you're here in this world, and you have to, in order to experience it, you've got to stay in your body." I looked at her and I said, "I do stay in my body." She goes, "10% of the time does not count."
Mhm.
see, I
Well,
have,
you know,
Oh,
I have that reaction whenever I drink rum. I drink rum, and I keep waking up in random places. Sometimes with, and most times without clothing on. So I don't leave my body when I drink rum. I don't know where I want to. I don't want to end up anywhere bad.
doesn't
yeah,
sound
definitely
like you
not.
had a bad time at all.
Well, I'm a 39-year-old male. I'm not in my 22, 23-year-old body anymore. So no one needs to see that nonsense.
Oh, I
I
give my eye teeth to be 40 again. Anyway,
That wasn't an enjoyable time for me.
there's
40
a
was not fun for me,
there's a
actually.
comedian I enjoy immensely who basically his stick is dysfunctional families, and I mean I get that humor, but he's like, you ever shudder to think about all the things you ever shudder when you think about all the things you lived through when you're in your 20s?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, I'm just amazed I didn't bleed to death. Tried
Yeah,
every other
same.
time, but didn't try that one.
Boy, I could go on about some of the mess I've been through in my 20s and
Yeah.
30s and 40s and 50s, and we'll go on ad nauseum. No, thank you.
Well, the neat part in my case is I can't count the number of plate glass windows I went through.
You need to give it up. I'm just telling you up front. Just let it go.
Yeah, well,
Don't
that was
go
the
through
idea. It was
anymore.
me putting me through them.
Now I have friends who tell me
You
that I
had
was a very
friends?
I have a few that put up with me, I should say. Uh, I have a few. Anyways, they keep telling me how angry of a person I was in my 20s. Like, I don't believe you. I was the pinnacle of peace. I was the poster child of Buddhism. I am all about. No, I was an angry 20-year-old. There's no, it's only by the universe's grace I made it through my 20s in one
So,
piece.
so what changed to make you a more peaceable person?
Um, my daughter.
Now that changes a
That would
lot of
do it.
things, doesn't it? Children
Yeah,
do.
I made a deal. I do stupid stuff, and I die when I'm like 25, 26, because I was never planning on seeing 30, and now I'm like on the ass in 39, about ready to bounce into 40. I'm like, this was not part of the plan. This
Yeah.
was this was
No,
not my
I'm,
plan.
Yeah, we were told from the time that we were in our early teens, and I'm in my 60s now, that uh, nuclear war would take us all out. None of us
I was
really
still getting
planned to
told that.
get to 30, 40 years old. And here we are in our 60s and don't know what the heck to do next, you know.
Well, see, I'm just trying to figure out the next method of stepping over. I mean, I've already been there, 9 confirmed and 1 suspected.
So they
You
pretty
know,
much threw you back out, huh?
well, I keep telling people, God doesn't want me, and Satan's afraid I'll take over.
Yeah, see, and Joe's saying I didn't think I would live past 30. And we had every reason to think not. Bay of Pigs, uh,
You know,
a number of crises that happened during the 60s and 70s are amazing.
it's
Oh yeah.
it's funny. It's not funny, but it's interesting you bring up the Bay of Pigs. I was actually talking about Castro a couple days ago, and I said, if one baseball manager, or manager or scout agent would have picked Castro up back in his 20s, we wouldn't have had the Cuban crisis.
It's very possible.
He
But we
loved
ended up
baseball.
having it, and I'm at Three River Stadium. I was at Three River Stadium when they decided that across the river from where I was at was going to have a nuclear meltdown. Ain't that fun? I didn't
I don't
expect
know.
to
I
get
wasn't
back
there,
home.
so I didn't try that one.
Yeah, well, I wasn't expecting to get back home. So it's things like that, and you know, we live so much of our lives that without being mindful of it, have no
Well, sad to
idea.
say, we're taught to fear everything.
Oh yeah,
My problem is I never learned to.
yeah. Well, at 13, I had decided, found out that I have mortality. You know how I did that? I didn't look before I
I,
leaped. I ran like mad across the chicken coop, grabbed the swing, swung over the hay loft, and there was no hay. And there
that's
I
gonna
hung
hurt.
about 50 feet in the air. About that. And I crawled all the way down to the end of the rope. Nobody heard me yell for them. I was in the barn where I should have been in the first place. And got to the end of the rope and let go. Hit an oak floor. Broke both legs. I crawled home, which was, I'm trying to think how far to explain that. Uh, about a quarter of a mile. About that. And
With
first thing
broken
out of
leg.
my mother's mouth is, "Were you in the barn?" I got hay in my hair. Now, there was no hay in there, but there was dust and debris. And it's like every other kid said, "No, Ma." you know. And she went to smack my fanny for lying to her, and she realized my legs looked like they were at a funny angle. "How'd you do that?" "I fell in the barn, Ma." And she had to set both of my legs. We were about 50 miles away from any medical help, and we did not. At that time, we did not have a car, so we were sort of stuck, But so I'm permanently at 5'2", whether I like it or not.
Oh no, I know how to build a rack.
No, thank you. That's okay. I'll pass.
Just an option to cure the five
I,
two thing.
I got that. I got that. No, not me. I'll stand on tippy toe. No problem.
So my grandparents had one of those. It's the old-fashioned heaters that was in the basement, gas fueled, but you had to throw a match in there to get it going.
Oh, okay, a propane heater.
Yeah, and I was very young. I was in my teens,
No, this isn't going to end well.
and I was under the information that, hey, Raven, I was under the information that the gas was off. I went down there, and I'm like, well, it smells kind of funny. That mean and I couldn't see anything.
Oh boy.
Well, this is going to be ugly.
So wrapping it all up, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna turn the gas on. So let's get this going. I light a match. I throw it in there. Next thing I know, I have like a ball, not like a perfect spear, but a ball of fire coming back at me. I, I, I didn't have eyebrows for like a week.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, I did something similar to that lighting a barbecue when we ran out of lighter fluid. I figured gasoline was a good was a good trade off.
Oh boy.
Well, the barbecue lit.
Not good. Not good at all.
I lit really well. But I will tell you, my wife was, to say the least, a little less than impressed.
Yeah. Anyway, moving right along. You're lucky you're alive. Really.
They
That
keep
could
calling me
have
back.
caught dust and everything else down there and exploded.
No, going back to manifest, I had a stupid rule back in high school that I didn't date girls I went to high school with because if it didn't work out, I was going to be stuck with said person for X amount of years. If I'm lucky, it's going to be the last 6 months of high school, but wasn't, but with my luck, I wasn't. So I made this rule that didn't date girls I went to high school. I by making this rule my freshman year, I met the woman who I truly believe I should be with. My senior year. I said hi. She said hi. But I learned years ago if I don't give myself rules, I'll get myself in trouble. I am one of those kind of guys who can damn near almost no, I can't justify anything. And so I make myself rules I have to live by. And ever since then, I manifested, my God, I want to be with her. God, please, this, whatever. And we stopped talking for a while, and we'll bounce right back into each other. Then we stop talking for a while, we'll bounce right back into each other. And those feelings, it's weird. Those feelings that you get when you truly love somebody, I mean, truly, truly love somebody, you think they go away after a while.
No,
Yeah.
they don't.
Yeah, yeah.
No, they don't.
I was watching TED Talks. I'm like, how long does love last? Here's 5 TED Talks that you might want to listen to. I'm like, after the third one, I'm like, I'm screwed.
Yeah,
But
no, they end up staying with it.
so manifesting, I'm putting it out there. I want to be with her. I don't care if it's today. I don't want care if it's tomorrow. I don't care if it's 5 years from now. This is the woman I want to be with, and I just keep saying this and keep saying it and keep saying it until it happens. Because I'm
Yeah.
trying to force.
And
I'm not
and
trying.
what has been your success rate with that so far?
With other things
No, with her.
or with her.
Yeah.
Um, she's still part of my life.
But are you part of hers?
Is that a
Yeah,
good thing or not?
yeah. We talk every day. Except for the weekends, we talk every day for X amount of hours. I mean, she's just a big part of my life, and now it's just a waiting game for certain aspects to clear up. And so I'm sticking to my guns. This is what I want, and to hell with everything else. I got to make this work.
Okay. So what's the question?
No, it's just manifesting. I understand the con. I understand. I understand the assignment. If you put goodwill out
Okay.
there, goodwill put out to you. So I'm trying to be a better person.
I
All that.
would say get happy, get joyful, get grateful. And when I say that, if you've decided, okay, you're messing around with telling the universe exactly how you'll have it, and you'll have nothing else. And your biggest situation there is you may be sabotaging the better happiness you might be having. And
That's
when you manifest in that direction, um, I am a Wiccan, okay? So some of my religious ideas are here, and I'll just put them out there, take them or leave them. When you start messing with someone else's free will, you are creating a very bad situation karmically for yourself.
Yeah, that's a disaster waiting to manifest.
and that is all a fair point. And
How does she feel about that?
she knows my feelings. She knows how I feel about her.
Mm-hmm. How does she feel about
And
you?
the same. The word of our relationship is complicated and patience.
Mm-hmm. I
So
understand. I probably understand better than you think.
I'm being patient, and if it doesn't go the way that I want, that's fine. I'm just not pursuing any other possible romantic concepts right now. I've
Well,
been in love with her since
Yeah,
the 20s,
uh-huh. So,
and I tried to be married. I tried to get married. No, I was married, and that was a freaking nightmare on everybody's part.
yeah, well, you weren't invested in it well. So, what's your plan once you have the the object of your desire?
Hopefully, live a very happy rest of my life.
What is happy?
Peace.
Okay.
Let's
What is peace? What does that mean? Because when you bring those things up and you're talking about manifesting, you putting out there happy. I can be very happy on a significant amount of morphine. But that's not idyllic.
that's not true happiness. That is,
Exactly, exactly.
I mean, I get
How are
what
you
you
no,
guys are
going to
saying.
manifest? How are you going to manifest your happiness? What does that mean to you?
see, they put me on morphine and it had absolutely no bearing.
Oh, I get
It's
on if I'm given even a small amount of that stuff. There's no difference between um, the reality of things and the other side for me. I can see them both.
oh,
Yeah,
man, these are
no, for me it was funny. Because they put me on when I broke my arm, and the doc told me I'd be six, at least 3 months before it even started to heal. I told him I don't have time to be broken that long. He told me, he was sorry, but it was going to be that long. I said, no, you don't get it. I don't have that much time. Well, 9 days later, I'd healed the bone. Just because I decided that staying broken, I'd heard horror stories about how uncomfortable casts could be. I had
Oh
no
yeah,
real interest in experiencing it myself.
and that's part of manifesting right there. So and I'm not telling you answer me here on this show because that's not comfortable. But I sure wish that you would sit down and look at the future as you envision it and make those decisions as well. Because happy for you and happy for her may not be the same critter.
right.
You
Oh,
And
need to
I know
this
I'm
talk
not
about
using,
those things.
I am not using my words correctly tonight, and I realize that.
Oh, I think we're all doing that tonight.
speaking backwards.
um,
If you
I
speak
just,
backwards, we can pretend that it's a message from Satan.
uh, God, I wish I'm normally better with words. I'm really not.
Let
Nathan can verify this. Uh,
while you consider that, I'm going to read something from the chat room from Joe. And he says, put out the aspects you like about her. Ask the universe to provide those aspects, but don't direct it towards one specific person. And that's part and parcel of
That's how I got,
open
and that's what I
open
pulled together.
manifesting. Pardon me?
All I did was list out the qualities I was looking for, right? And I specified a few I would not tolerate. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I desire these qualities, but do not even consider giving me these ones.
Right.
Net result, I'm attached.
Yeah, and you've done pretty well for yourself so far. And it does work that way. You know, it's a very short area between uh, loving from afar and obsession.
Well, I trust me. I get that. It's not obsession a thing. It's a oh god. I want to use an. No, that doesn't work. Ah, what's the wordage? What is legitly? What is the right wordage? Not even the right wordage, just wordage that makes sense.
You're going to
Which
have to give
is,
me a ballpark.
I see. I keep getting. The term quantum entanglement keeps popping up in my head. I'm like, no, that's not the right wordage.
you're looking for soul entanglement, or perhaps uh,
The way I,
soul mates, or something of that nature.
my headspace is fairly hectic all the damn time, and she's the same way. She's about as scatterbrained as I am. When we're with each other, it being on FaceTime or actually physically each other, we make each other's brains just shut the hell up. It gets
Oh,
quiet for both of us.
That would be
okay.
classified as a not a soul mate, but one of your potential life mates.
Yeah.
Because you find the piece that you can run through the house with, through the year with.
It's a Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hello.
Hey
It's
Joe,
not.
how we doing?
Boy, I've got an
I
echo way in the background.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to your settings. Turn off the echo.
What's the other?
Go to audio and then turn off the echo.
And also adjust your mic down about half of what it is now,
Right.
because you just blew my ears out. I was like, oh,
I'll scream again because his ears are still hanging from the skin.
Yeah, we gotta knock them free.
Yeah.
The other weird thing about the whole situation with me and Herm is there's no other better way to explain this. And any of you guys actually, I'm sure all of you guys have seen, the movie Highlander
Sure.
Yep.
when they could just feel each other.
Yep. Do that all the
Mhm.
time. That's just normal. I think that's the same
Yeah.
with Lynn.
Yeah.
We can feel each other. We know when we're close, or when the other person, I jokingly say, so, "Were you just thinking about me?" She's like, "Shut up."
Uh huh.
Lillian,
So
how's your left shoulder?
It's much better. Thank you.
sound is much better.
The
Sound
reason
is
he
much
asked me
better.
that is because when he broadcasts his pain, I can feel it.
mm,
Ah,
Welcome to empath.
yeah.
And I think also he gets a migraine headache pretty much when I do. And I
no,
I
know
don't
that
think that's
Frank
a very
does.
nice trade-off.
When Frank's back's going spastic, boy do I get that. So yeah, I can feel everything around me. But no, I do understand what you're talking about. And so does Keith, and I'm pretty sure Joe
Oh,
does
yeah.
too. The
Yeah, but Joe's hopping mad at you and.
Okay, Joe, you're down too far, so adjust yourself up about 5 clicks up.
So Nathan, will most likely might be in your neck of the woods coming this June, maybe.
Okay.
I have some reasons to be in Nashville, and if I can make it work, I'm going to have to meet you somewhere in person, maybe over a meal.
Sure, that'll work. Okay, I have a place to go.
Yeah.
You're going to take
Possibly,
him to Dairy
possibly.
Queen, aren't you?
No, no. We don't have Dairy Queen in Tennessee.
So I remember I used to live in East Nashville. My favorite places to eat were Fat Mo's,
Yep.
home of the horrible burger, because it's not good for you by any stretch of the imagination. Jumbo and Delicious, the home of the stuffed lamb burger over there in I forget where that's at. Or Manel's, a family style restaurant with food that is absolutely amazing. Those were my haunts.
Okay.
Where are you thinking?
There's this place that has opened up in the past little while called The Local,
The
and they do an they're excellent. And they're over by Vanderbilt area.
Okay.
So not quite downtown Vanderbilt area. That's their own area. It's like their own part of town. And yeah, we can go there. We go there daytime. It's a
yeah.
yeah, it's much easier to go there daytime at about, just after lunch than any other time.
The scenes
Well,
between the
because the
people.
vampires aren't there at that point.
Man, it's not the vampires you have to worry about there. It's the things. Man, Vanderbilt has got some. I don't want to say. I don't want to use the word ghost because that just sounds ignorant. But it's got something going on.
They do have
Well,
ghosts. All of Nashville has. All of Tennessee is
I
haunted.
get what you're saying, but it's not just that. Everybody, not everybody, but if you can't explain something, most people say ghost or something like that. And I don't mean ignorant as a person's being ignorant for saying that. Is ignorant to think that that's the only thing that's got going over there.
Oh no, there's a whole
Okay.
pile of things down there.
See, this is why words are not helping me out today.
Right.
I was thinking a little bit about your quandary there. Some of the best information I ever saw was from it was one of the Secret series, and I can't. Pardon me.
I read yeah, I remember when the Secrets came out.
Okay, I think this isn't The Secret. It is one of the books that came out afterwards. Is relatively the same group of people, and I want to say Down the Rabbit Hole or something of that nature.
Oh, Bleak Down the Rabbit Hole?
Yes.
That was a great, that was very interesting. Not, I don't want to say film, but very interesting.
It was
Yeah.
really a very interesting film for me.
Yeah.
The I want to say it's that one, but I'm sort of thinking not. But anyways, in that group of writings, and one of these things that they said about love and freeing the other person to be themselves and the rest of it is that go with it. Just go with it. Don't worry about it, and let things come to you. And not try to force it, because every time you put a force on it and a wall or block, it just makes matters worse. Whereas going with the flow, the universe is able to give you more of what you need and what you want. I've seen that happen as well.
That's fair.
And
It's just
that might
it's.
help somewhat.
I know how I am sounding, and I know I sound creepy. It's just, oh my
I don't
god, it
think
is.
so. I
It's
don't think you sound
easier.
crazy at all.
It is easier not to breathe than not having her in my life.
No, you're just not necessarily how aware of how off kilter ours are.
It's
Yeah.
very possible.
I don't know how many times my spirit has gone around and around on this earth, but I just know that I don't know. She brings me calm. We bring each other calm.
That's very telling right there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it really is. That's sort of one of those indications that you really. Hey, Shadow, how we doing?
Hey,
Hey,
Shadow.
not too bad, not too bad. My show ran late. A couple of old friends showed up, and I had to, hang
Who's the
out with
host
them.
of the most?
Shawner.
Yeah, I saw. I was on my way home and I saw Shauner was on. I'm like, oh, that's good for him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the guy's got a lot to teach, and you know me, I like to learn. So, how's everybody doing tonight?
Terrific.
About
Glad to
A
hear
lot
it.
better than then.
$80 poor. Not $80, about $60 poor.
Well, Frank's book is in the mail, and I hope he enjoys it.
I'm sure he will. He's listening. I don't think that he's. Uh,
The,
are you are you on? Yeah, he's listening.
Well,
So
it's book 8 of 9, but it's not like it's they're you need to read them in order. It's not that kind of book.
okay. Uh, Maybe you can respond to that in the chat, Frank.
I,
He'll go ahead and respond to.
Connell's got the same book. He knows. He's got the same copy or the
y'all
same
spelled my name
book.
wrong, by the way.
Oh, dude, did I?
And I'm sitting there looking. I'm
All
like, is
right.
this the Spanish way to spell my name? So I can
Yeah,
listen to
Jackie,
that.
Jackie did it. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, man.
Right.
I didn't do it.
No, it's fine. I'm sitting there looking at the spelling. I'm like, that's not how you spell my name. Is that how I spell my name in Spanish? No, that's not Spanish either. A Latin? No, no. I was trying to give somebody the benefit of doubt that they just spelled it, But yeah.
American public school phonics.
Yeah, but did they teach anything in the process?
Well, considering
Well,
I spent the first up until I was 15 over in Ireland, I had more of a European education than I do American, which gets me in trouble.
No doubt. That putting that
So,
you in something like favorites just seems to throw Americans into a complete screaming fit.
See, this is where I run
Or
into the problem.
color.
Is I spell it American.
I know. All right, I'll say the United States teachers and everybody else into a quandary.
Well, same problem. I'm up here in Canada. I never spell anything OU except our.
oh, hey, Nathan, I inadvertently, but not in a bad way, advertised your show all throughout my show because that little watermark up at the top was your show. I don't
Oh,
know how
is
that
that
I,
why?
happened.
I
Is
did
that
a
why
quick
mine
show
disappeared
with,
and now yours is in place?
I think so.
I did a
Oh
quick
no, they're
show.
both there.
What was it? I did a quick show with Omanal
Oh, where
earlier
did Joe
today.
go?
I
We're
don't
back.
know.
I did a quick show today with Omanal and Bo. And I gave you Shadow Mike after today. After here in a little bit, go check out Shadow and Son. They're talking about something sci-fi, I'm sure, because I didn't have no idea what you were talking about tonight. And I said after that, go check out this guy named Nathan Allen. He is not the guy who's playing the saxophone, even though the guy who's playing saxophone actually does a really good job. He's the guy who talks about quantum. If you want to know what quantum is, go check out Nathan Allen. And that's how I let off for your show tonight. I hope you don't mind.
Well, thank you. No, don't. I don't
Well,
mind at
yeah,
all.
absolutely complain about advertising. That always works out well.
think we lost Joe.
No, we all got to help each other out wherever we can.
Owen, I was like, you really need to say, if you like my show, hit like and smash, whatever. Wordage, not my
Use
friend.
that other word.
Subscribe. Yeah.
Subscribe. And I'm thinking to myself,
It's just subscribe. Just go
and
and subscribe.
I'm like, yeah, I keep forgetting to do that. I have like 5. I know I have more than that. I got like a niche group that watches my hangout with ... show that I put on. And I'm happy with the small crowd. I don't need Max's numbers. I don't want Max.
I do. I got a kid to support.
See, the moment I get Max's numbers or any big numbers, my mouth will get me kicked off of YouTube.
Just
pretend
wait for the 30-second rule and hope for the best. So what did I miss tonight? What did I miss tonight?
Well, we've been talking about personal power affecting reality through manifestation, basically giving thanks. We've gone over it, but there's so much more to say about it. And first hour, I went over how I got an iPhone and an iPad, and I had nothing to do with it other than I made an offering to the forest, and the forest says, "Thank you, have this." And I was like, "Wow, okay."
That's cool. I think my one and only every morning, every night, I do the gratitude thing for one particular thing that is yet to happen. and we were talking about it earlier, Keith. Is there? I mean, it's nothing earth-shattering. I don't want to be, God Emperor of Dune or anything like that. Well, I mean, I do, but that's not what I'm talking about. Are there things that are off limits?
Are there things that are off limits? Yeah.
In what
Don't
way?
affect other people's free will.
Yeah, that
would be the big one.
Yeah.
We definitely covered that one. And that was part of Connell's talk.
Right. And everyone has free will, or at least their version of it. And
what you don't have freedom from is consequence.
that's exactly right. That's actually where I was going. We have free will. We just don't have freedom from consequence. And you might think that you're perfectly happy to have a consequence, but they don't tell you up front what that consequence is.
Right.
It tells you what the bill is at the end of the day.
Yeah, you get your bill
That's
at
like
the end of it and say, okay, here's the bill, and you are going to pay it, and you do.
Well,
you do pay it.
It's very much like Doctor Strange, where the warnings come after the spells.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's a lot of craft work, and that's of course whether it's Wicca or whatever. One of the biggies is harm none, do what you will, but ever mind the rule of 3, unless it's self-defense it be. Now that is the rule that every Wiccan follows to a certain degree. When you use that rule in its entirety, boy, do you become mindful of your responsibility with your free will. As you should. And when I say the rule of 3, I look at the rule of 3 as 3 squared. In other words, 3 times 3 times 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, now you're talking some heavy-duty karma. And it works both ways. You do good things, it pays you back like that. You do bad things, boy, does it pay you back like that. So,
Right. No, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm pretty certain. I mean, obviously, I'm not certain at all. That you know what I'm particularly talking
And he's
about
not
is
pretty at all either.
I'm sorry,
is
Joe.
He's not pretty at all either.
No, it doesn't have to be pretty at all, and it's usually not.
right. I
Sorry,
assume.
Shadow.
No.
left that open.
It's you know it's a you know I think it's a little thing, but you know I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to change. You know, being grateful for something that hasn't happened yet because I have faith.
I think
And
that's an excellent way of approaching things. It really is. When you're trying to
Yeah,
manifest
absolutely.
something, thinking about it first thing in the day and giving thanks to the universe or God or whomever you worship, that thanks in advance actually puts you on the fast track.
The thing is, when you ask for something, you're asking to avoid it. When you thank them, you've already got it.
Oh
that's
boy.
what I've always understood.
Mm-hmm. You just have to get it here in real time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's up to you. 27 vacuum cleaners, my God. You know?
And not more than two.
That was just to give you
It
something
wasn't
for all
quite
of your
that many.
coming to fly.
I'll give you what. If you think I'm kidding, you can ask Joe Lawrenson how many vacuum sweepers I had at one time. how I
wasn't
couldn't get
sure,
that
but
thing shut off. What'd you
and they
say,
were
Joe?
brand new. They
Yeah,
were brand new.
that's what
They
was
had
really
bumpers.
wow.
That's got to be
They
one
had
for the
minor
record books.
problems.
I'll give you one. It was one. It was one to teach the sorcerer's apprentice how to do that thing correctly. Every time I
I'm
look
sorry I
at a
said
vacuum now,
that.
I think dun 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 dun, dun you know, from Fantasia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figured that's exactly what you're
Oh
talking about.
yeah, and it's exactly how it worked. You know, now if I can get the cash going that way, we'll be in business, huh?
I'm weird.
IRS will show up.
I'm sorry, you what?
I've always been weird when it comes to money. I don't mind not having it.
Well, I will tell you that was my problem. I would suggest, because I don't think you're in your 60s yet, are you?
No, not yet.
I would suggest you get in under the idea that having money now would be an idea to start drawing it. Primarily because you're going to need it later, whether you like it or not.
Oh yeah, I realize that. I have a retirement. Well, I had an awesome retirement plan, then I had a kid, so that changed. See, my retirement plan was in early 20s. Me joking around. Keep this in mind. I was joking around when I always said this. Was my retirement plan was once I hit about 60, go rob a federal bank, but not with a gun. Because if
You
you
want
do
to
it with
do
a
it computerized.
if you do it with a gun, you go to the bad prison. If you do it without a gun, you go to a prison. I'm not saying there's a good prison. I'm just saying there's worse prisons out there.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm in prison, a federal prison, which is better than a state prison, by the way.
Latuna.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Three hots, a cot, internet, cable. I can work out when I want to, and I can be left alone. It sounded brilliant to me in my early 20s.
Yeah, my only problem with that whole idea is I don't do the vertical bar scene well.
Yeah, I don't want a boyfriend. Sorry, I'm just saying.
Mm.
Good, then we'll get along fine, because I'm not interested in one either.
Yeah, see, and in my case, I'm not interested in Bertha at all. You know?
But this is, these were the thoughts of a 22, 23, 24-year-old guy, at that time wasn't expecting to live past 30. So I'm like, whatever.
Well, I don't feel too bad about my alternate planet at 25. I figured I eventually I would win the lottery. And I did this week. I won the lottery. I got $16. I'm on the right
Wow.
track.
No, now
Yeah.
you just have to move to
Hey,
Ethiopia to afford to live.
you know,
Yeah, really. Then
speaking
I
of
found
retirement
out
plans,
my gas bill doubled, and so did my electric bill.
I haven't got my electric bill yet. Man, I got my electric bill last month, and it was like roughly almost $400. No, about 350. I felt like it was $400, especially because that's a lot of money for a bill for me. And it's cold in Illinois. I'm not saying that it's not. It's cold here in Illinois, and I'm like, screw this. And my ex-wife was like, "What are you going to do?" I'm like, "I'm turning off the heat. I can always put more clothes on."
Well, that's actually what we did.
Yeah, you just have to
gotta,
leave.
yeah, you gotta understand that I live in New Mexico, and I live in southern New Mexico.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's been like in the 50s for us. But when you're used to 110 degrees, 50 seems a little bit chilly.
Yeah, no doubt.
yeah. I live in a place where
Pardon the pun.
it gets up to 115
Yeah,
or
yeah,
more
exactly.
during the summer, and then then at night it goes down to 40, and then in the winter it can get down to 28 here.
Yeah, here
Yeah,
too. 20.
and we literally have, like, if we're lucky, 3 days of spring and 3 days of fall before it goes
well,
into either winter or summer. So it's not a nice transition.
Yeah, it's pretty
But
sudden too.
we have a friend, Connell and I, and Nathan, a guy named Hungar, the Starvarian,
good
and
guy.
his health's not so good. And his brother's health, James, isn't great either, from what I've deduced lately. So if we can, put some positive vibes out there for him, that would be wonderful. But Hungar's got this retirement plan. He's going to move to the Philippines, where apparently it's super cheap to live out there. And I've been looking into it, just seeing what my bro's going to get himself into. And I'm like, dang, that's starting to look better and better every day, man.
I kind of made the same thing where I'm like, if I hit the lottery, I'm moving down to Mexico. I'm moving to a third world country. I don't care which third
Don't
world
move to
country.
Mexico. Don't move to Mexico,
No,
because I will
nope,
not
nope,
be.
nope. I'm so the wrong shade for Mexico.
I'll get a little bit of sun on me. I'm almost the right shade for Mexico.
Well, what I'm worried about, Connell, is getting a little cartel all over you.
Yeah,
I don't do drugs, but
yeah.
I am an asshole.
But
So I see the
you
problem.
don't have to. All you gotta do is rub those guys the wrong way, just once.
Hey,
Just
Shadow,
once.
what's the light show you got going on over there? I've
Check
been
this out,
watching
bud.
it.
Check this out. Hold on.
He has a light show going on.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
colorblind. I don't see.
Do you see
Okay, you
black
see
and
this?
white?
I see black and white, but it's shadow, and
I used to be colorblind.
yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
you're digging it, right, Nathan?
Yeah.
A buck and a quarter at Dollar Tree.
I
Nathan-
have seen those.
Nathan, what is
Dude.
happening?
Dude, go and get as many of these as you can. These are the bomb.
Okay.
These rock. I am so mad at myself. I only picked up one, and I was there today for the first time in like 3 weeks, and I've got to find some way to get down there tomorrow morning and buy them all. I thought, you know what? It's cool. I can use it for a piece of terrain for a gaming table if it doesn't work, because that's what I figured it wouldn't work. But no, This thing rocks. This lights up my whole studio when I turn out the light. Jackie
fantastic for me
feeling
when
it.
I was a kid.
Was that what the flashing was?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would have been brilliant for me as a kid. I was epileptic.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
I
always
used to have
fun.
seizures too, and my son was like doing this with it. You can have a seizure. I'm like, no, I haven't had one in like 5+ years, so I'm good to go. But yeah, Nathan, grab some
I'll-
of these. grab them. Oh my God, there's so many cool things I could do with this. Because I was looking at yesterday, I was looking at, those plasma balls, right?
Yep.
Well, there's some battery powered ones. And I'm like, because I saw a guy on a video doing some terrain, making some power generators for his game table. And I'm like, cool. I looked them up on Amazon. They're like $15. I'm like, okay, that's okay. But then I saw one that's a flat disc plasma ball. And I'm like, oh, Mystic Portal, here we come. But they're like $40. But I'm still going to grab one. But then I went today and I saw this. And I'm like, I could use this plastic, and whatever for something,
You
But
could do something like that behind a magnifying glass or something of that nature,
well, what
and
it is,
have a
it's really
ball
just
with it.
it's just three lights under in the components, but it's got this plastic sort of diamond grid pattern. You really can't see it very well.
It moves
I'm
around.
probably can't
No,
see
no,
it
it's
at
just
all.
Yeah, I
it's
can
just the
see the
flickering
pattern.
light.
Oh,
But the
okay.
clear
Okay.
plastic that's doing all the magic really is refracting it all over the place.
It was neat.
I
I
guess.
found a cure for epilepsy a while back.
Did you see that, Frank?
Yeah.
Okay. He'll explain it to me. I can't see it. So, and that's fine.
But
Okay.
it's really a cool for
Sort
a
of
buck and a
like a
quarter.
disco ball was when we were kids.
Yeah.
But that's actually what they're called. I think is they're called disco balls, mini disco ball. But it's not the same principle because a disco ball is just a mirrored ball that lights are being beamed onto it from
Right.
somewhere across the room. But this is all in one. I'm like, get two of these and make bug eyes or something. I don't know, but I'm just loving it. It was,
I can think of a few
I
things to do with those.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I hate to be a
Why
party
don't you just
pooper
make
here,
your own
guys.
Tesla coil?
I hate to be a party pooper here, but I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry to hear that.
This is
Well,
where
it's
the
good to
quantum
see
has
you.
led us, man.
Pretty
It
much.
was good to see you, Keith.
Thank-
Are you doing a show tomorrow?
What is tomorrow? Sunday? Yeah.
Do you do a show now every day?
I do, except Thursdays. I will not do it Thursday because that's my gaming night.
Yeah,
Oh,
what
okay,
games do
okay.
you play?
well, go rest
Try
up.
it again.
Thanks for coming by, Keith. I appreciate
What do you
it.
play, Keith? Kind of want to know what
Oh.
you play.
Play D&D.
Good for you.
Yeah,
What
I'm
edition?
still diehard tabletop.
Good for you. It doesn't really even matter what edition, as long as he plays the game.
Oh yeah.
No, I was just
I'm
curious. I was
playing-
just curious.
I mean, let's face it. I've averaged two games a week since June of 1976.
Nice.
You are the man, dude. That is incredible.
No joke. I'm slightly jealous.
I think the funniest one I pulled off was the New Year's Eve of 2018. Had a stroke on the 28th, and I told him I was going to be home for New Year's Eve. I didn't tell him why. But I had a game to be at on New Year's Eve.
I guess that gave him a fit.
Well, I
That
didn't
is
tell the doctor
dedication,
that
my
was the
friend.
problem.
That is dedication.
I went in there, couldn't talk, couldn't walk. I was out in 2 days to get a day pass and go home and play D&D.
That probably did more to put you back together again than anything else.
In all honesty, yeah, pretty much.
You have a really good evening, Keith.
Have a
You
good
too,
one,
and I will
Keith.
catch up with you
Talk to
guys
later,
again.
Keith.
Have a
Take care,
good one.
bud.
Alrighty then. Love when Keith comes on.
Yep.
He has a very different way of approaching things, and we all sort of get to the same place, but he gets there counterclockwise, and I think the rest of us get there clockwise.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
like he got there, came back, and is telling us what it's like to get there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man.
Well, like you guys hear me say a million times, everything happens for a reason, and I met him for reasons, and I am grateful for it. And his show is always one of my most positive moments of every day. I look forward to it. Angelica, she's like, who's this guy? Why is he talking to you? And I'm like, I don't even know where to start. You know,
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I've
Yeah.
he's
I've
just a
known
great
Keith for
guy.
quite a long time now, and I never leave something that he's doing, whether it's a show or a broadcast like he's been doing, without a smile on my face. I always get something from it.
Yeah,
For,
he's got a really interesting way of putting things and doing things, and his sense of humor is, you know, it's unique. I'm just gonna leave it there. If you haven't watched the show, Connell, it's
What handle does he go by for a show?
our Keith
R. Keith.
Andrews.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the chat right now.
Thank
All
you.
right.
It's
And
our
he's got Nathan and my channel permanently affixed to his channel. I've only known him like 2 months tops.
Yeah.
And every even if I don't make it to the show, live, I go over there and watch it afterwards, and I'm like, this guy's
He's
yes,
legit for sure.
yeah, I agree with you.
You should
And
hear him on Spaced Out Radio.
oh yeah,
I'm just gonna call him special in the good context, and leave it at that. Um,
I get it.
just in case he's still listening, I don't want his head to explode. Get a big
I,
ego,
uh,
which I know he'll never do. But it sounds funny.
I was actually, I don't know what it was. Just I woke up this morning to Harry and the Hendersons, the Bigfoot movie, right back in the old
Yeah.
Bigfoot movie.
80s.
Okay,
And that
that's
was
what
the
you get for
beginning.
sleeping with the TV on.
What?
That's what you get for sleeping with the TV on.
I have to have the TV on, or I can't sleep. I need background noises to sleep. If I'm not doing edibles, I need background noises to sleep. I'm weird.
how are we spelling that?
Weird?
Yes.
Fucked?
No, it's what if you call me weird, I insisted it be WYRD
That makes
from
sense.
the woods.
That makes sense. I still prefer it when it comes to me. I still prefer my spelling. Fucked. Or food bar.
I think
You remind me an awful lot of my son. You really do.
actually,
I am
Mom?
so sorry.
It reminds me of Frank.
There we go. Link to Spaced Out Radio is in the chat, and I will find an R. Keith Andrews episode
Yeah.
I keep
specifically.
asking my mom whose dog she kicked. She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I'm just curious because you ended up with me. I'm just just trying to figure that one out."
My mother kept telling me that my brother was an only child.
You do something like that these days, I'll have you in jail in no time.
Oh yeah, my mom. I lived with my grandparents. Well, my mom was very young when she had me, and my dad was not young when she had me. He came over here. As far as my understanding of the concept was, if you join up for the U.S. military, you more or less got brought over here. Very few questions asked. As long as you're with an allied country like Ireland, for example. That's where he was from. And he did not know that my mom was 15. And my mom didn't know that he was not 15. And she got pregnant with me. And my grandpa, my mom's dad, freaked out because that's kind of what parents do, for better or worse. And he went and became a tank driver in the military, in the army. Well, my mom, at a very young age, realized, I can't, I'm not ready to be a parent. So I got shipped off to go live with his parents, which I got to, I got to be raised in Ireland. It was to a very loving James Bond wannabe Irish grandfather and a Romanian practitioner of a grandma.
Best of all worlds.
Yeah. I am superstitious. I believe in the never never and things like to hop over from the never never, it being spirits or the small folk.
And I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with that.
Well, it just depends on what side of the court they come from. I normally don't want to deal with anything from the winter court. Really don't want to deal with anything from the summer court though either. They're both don't Shao says don't do drugs, and I say don't make deals with fairies.
That's probably a good
Correct.
system. Yes. You're absolutely right about that. Or anybody else that
Nathan,
that looks a little shady.
Sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
did you did you see the picture I put on Facebook of the road up to Tiburon?
I don't think I did. Let me see if I can go over
Great
there.
big. You know the tunnel that you go up as you go to Cloudcroft?
I believe so. Been a long time, Joe.
Just before, yeah, just before it, the one of the boulders fell down and blocked the whole road. And in the picture, you can see something looks like a sketch squatch sitting on the top.
Oh,
I will have to go check it out right now.
there's a that. Thank you, Joe. You brought me back to the Bigfoot thought processing earlier. I'm sorry, my ADD brain kicked completely in right there.
Oh,
I
you're
saw
among friends here.
I saw Shadow in his cool hat, and it just made me think of something else. Anyways, so Harry and Henderson was on, and I'm recovering from last night's wedding slash reception party I was Vaughn told to go to because I love my daughter. Anyways, and I'm like, I like a good Bigfoot story, so I watched the movie. The thing reminded me of, I remember watching that movie a lot as a child, and it makes me happy, whatever. And next thing I know, I get on to, was it TikTok or Facebook? It was one of the two. And there is a recording of a creature that stands anywhere from 7 to 9 feet tall, and the timbre of its voices are not human of human register. And it talked
Yes.
about these two hunters that are somewhere in northern Washington State area.
I know what you're
Who,
talking about. You're talking about what is the thing called? The something tapes.
yeah, and my skeptic part of my brain is like, yeah, that's a bunch of fooey. So I looked into it. I'm like, oh, that's not fooey at all. That's oh,
The
that's a
Sierra
thing.
sounds.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's. I will say this: years and years ago, and I mean before you were born,
I can
Uh huh.
believe.
my ex and I had gone out primitive camping in the Monongahela.
Okay.
Um, that is a huge forest in Ohio. It's huge lakes. It's just huge. And we saw something that was not a human being. It was not a bear. It was not a dog. Um, it was on its rear legs, and it stank to high heaven.
Skunk ape.
Yep. That's what I was told it was. It took one look at us and took off the other direction. I'm like, I'm with you, dude, and I went the other way too. You know, but it was it was not something I wanted to do again. I was terrified.
There's a line from Shakespeare. There's more things in heaven and earth than one could imagine.
Than
I
are
think that's
dreamt in your philosophy.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's always been one of
Horatio.
my.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
so
I knew it was from Shakespeare. Hey, yeah.
Oh,
My Nietzsche
it's
quotes are normally a little bit more darker. So
now that same forest. I actually got a picture on my Microsoft uh, wallpaper coming into the computer this morning, and it was a simple forest picture. Nothing exciting about this thing, except that it was an open uh, trunk, and there was a little face peering out of it. It had to be a very tiny person. Was not it was not an animal. And I was like, there's a child in there. And then the next time you look at it, you don't see it.
that's
Then you
not a
look
child.
again and there it is, you know?
That's not a child. Run. And for the love of
well, hey, at
God.
least it wasn't one of Jamie Lee Curtis's photos.
Thank God for small breaks, eh?
Jeez. And that, and it wasn't wearing a red cap.
I don't know if it was wearing anything, to be honest with you. All I
Uh,
saw was face.
that's fair. When you if you want to read something horrifying, just type in red caps. Not the mushrooms. In your enter your Google, and when it comes to the wee folk, they are absolutely terrifying. My grandpa told me a story about wee folks, about red caps when I was a kid, and it gave me nightmares for a while.
Yeah, I'll bet. Like I say, my son is your age, and as a youngster, he got one look at a commercial one day for a movie called Leprechaun.
Mm.
That's my favorite movie.
Now he's
You,
nine,
you,
10 years
you,
old.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want to make sure we're talking about the same movie. The Anthony Fauci biography.
I don't know if
Oh,
the what.
come on.
No,
No,
we're
it was
talking
the
about Leprechaun.
pecan.
It
It
was
has
it was a horror
Go look
movie.
at that movie. Go look at that movie poster and get back to me.
Okay,
it's the one that has the chick from Friends before she became uberly famous.
I have no clue.
I know what movie you're talking about because it was one of my favorite movies for some dumb reason. It was one of my
Yeah.
favorite movie.
Well,
The
that
guy who
darn
played
movie.
it was the guy from what movie was he from? The guy from Willow played the leprechaun. Yes. Well,
It
no.
was a
The
little
wee
guy.
folk
I
are
don't
all
know.
the wee folk are fair phase. The creatures from the
Fairies and
Never
Pixies.
Never.
What are the borrowers?
The bars are from a novel. I mean, everything's kind of from a novel or story. The bars are these small little humanoid creatures that live in your house. They're like brownies. They live in everybody's house, and you never notice them because they have weird magic ish stuff, and they won't take things so much as they will borrow it. Like if you're ever missing something that should be there, like a
The pencils.
thimble,
You
pencils,
mean like
whatever.
pencils out of a bookstore, maybe?
Right. And you're like, where did it go? Then all of a sudden you find it again. It looks like it's been
I know that
slightly
story.
used or, whatever. That's from a bar
Oh,
load.
I get it.
Jesus. Words
You you know we that I think they're more real than we think. you know, it's weird. You know, you lay something down, you hunt for that darn thing for days sometimes, and it's sitting next to you. It's like I
Yeah, been there,
know
done
that that
that.
was not there, you
My
know?
daughter could be considered a bar when she was a child because I'm like, where the hell did I miss that? Put that.
Yes, you know.
What she her
All they
favorite
do
thing to
is send
do.
Pagulas after them.
Yeah, really. That
The
settled that problem, didn't it?
Right.
uh, her favorite thing to do when she was itty bitty, like 2 or 3 years old, itty bitty, is she would take my wedding band off of me, a wedding band off my finger, and she's like, "No, my precious."
Oh,
Like, just because your grandma's Schmeagle doesn't mean you can be a golem.
gives to
And
me the
she never got the
precious.
reference. She didn't get the reference.
Well, what I was getting at with this Leprechaun movie was that kid stayed scared of those leprechauns. He now will not, if I bring home a knickknack that looks like a you know the little gnome things,
Yeah.
they have eyes. He just has an absolute fit and it goes away. He will steal that thing and get rid of it.
Other than the little bit of money that you're losing from buying it, I don't blame your child.
I don't even buy him
Kyle.
anymore. I don't. He
I,
doesn't want
I,
him around, and I'm not going to start anything.
if, oh my
Kyle?
goodness. There's only one mirror in my house, and that's in the bathroom. I don't like mirrors. I have a bunch of weird like things that drive most of my ex girlfriends crazy. Of things I will not. It's like I will stop. It could be 2:59 in the morning, and we're like halfway through a horror movie or something supernatural horror movie like Ghost or whatever. If it's a slash or whatever, but if it's like a horror movie, I nope. By
Not 3 in the
2:59,
morning. No,
not we're not playing that game. 3 o'clock, it's off.
right. And I'm with you on that. And I'm not particularly superstitious necessarily, but between 3 and 5 in the morning is passing over time.
That's
And
supposed.
I mean, and you can ask any nurse that does night shifts or
That's weird because
caregiver.
I was born like 3:30 a.m.
I was
That
too.
so much makes so much more sense about you.
I was too.
It was a rainy Monday morning.
I think. Well, I know for a fact that my brother and I, were married. Were born at 3:30. He was born at 3:35, and during a terrific tornado. It was one of the worst they'd ever had, and my parents were on their way to the hospital because we decided we were going to make our appearance. And doggone it, the tornado picked car up and set it back down just as neat as you please. I was born in the hallway, and my brother made it to the
Delivery room.
delivery room. I
There's
must
a
have been in a hurry. That's all I know. We were both premature by about 6 weeks.
Oh,
So
I am sure, get a doctor into this conversation, he can explain whys and whats and ifs and who's and all that good happy. Of
he'd
course,
try.
I was born I was born as stillborn.
Oh,
My cord was wrapped around my neck. I was not amongst the living for about 2 minutes. And my grandma always said it was a special baby because of that. I'm like, no, that just sounds like a very unlucky baby. But what do I know?
no, it sounds like a really lucky baby to me. Because by all rights, things like that kill children. But you know, that 3 in the morning thing, I can attest to that. I was caregiver for a long time. If I was going to lose somebody, it would be that time of night, almost invariably, and
Who's
and
playing with poker
oddly
chips?
enough during the afternoon as well.
Am I the only one hearing poker chips?
No, but I would
I
really
hear
like.
something in the background too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you feeding the dog again, Joe?
No.
I'm not
I
doing
haven't.
anything. at the moment.
Couldn't tell
I
you
just
what it
where I hear
is.
poker chips.
Yeah, poker chips have a very particular sound, and especially if they're the heavy clay ones. It sounds like the thin plastic ones. I'm not saying I play a lot of poker or anything.
Yeah,
I heard something. I Now that you mention it, I think it was sounded like poker chips.
plastic ones, but yeah.
Yeah,
Once again, not saying I play a
not
lot of
me.
poker.
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, I
Nobody here
got
is
the.
even in here.
I saw Shadows got his chat going on, and he had a pretty decent group on there already. I'm thinking to myself, I'm hungry. Next thing I know, I can add for one of my favorite places that serves food passes me on Facebook. I'm like, I think I'm going to go lose some money at this place that serves food and other things.
Yeah, the other day, I was handed a computer and asked to get into its hard drive. The motherboard was shot, so I took it apart, and no sooner had I taken it apart and I realized I didn't have my disk drive reading tool. And I turned around and looked at Facebook, and there was advertisements there for it.
I am not sure how that works.
And I'm
Damn
finding
you, Mark
that as
Zuckerberg.
well. I'm finding it as well, and not necessarily on Facebook or that, but YouTube. You
Yeah.
know,
We, we
Anything
just
your phone can hear, they're all wrapped up into advertising. It's in the terms of service. To use YouTube, to use Google, to use Facebook, they
I
all
didn't
are
say a
allowed
word
to.
about it. I
Yeah.
didn't say a word about it.
Or I don't know how they're knowing these things. I've been having that happen to me too, and it's like they're reading my mind. However,
Uh,
I know they're not because first of all, my computer and phone are not that advanced. Nowhere near
You know what?
it.
I can prove it. I can prove that what it's doing.
Go ahead. For all ears.
Take your phone. Take out your phone. Not now. Not now. Okay, later after the show or something, right? Go to have your phone in your hand and um, pick a word like Godzilla. Okay, a really weird word, right? And say it like half a dozen times. Then go to your search window and just press the first two letters of that word, and it'll be like the first thing that pops up.
Yeah, but I
Um,
didn't have anybody here to talk to, and I was talking out loud, and it still popped up.
yeah, I
That's
think
even
that's
weirder. That's
yeah.
even weirder. I don't know how to explain that one. That's maybe you got a brain chip and you didn't realize it. You got any missing time or anything like that?
Well, let's not even
You been
start
hanging
with
out with a
that.
guy named Elon?
No.
I it's not funny, but kind of funny. It's weird funny. I should say. I was having an argument. I left my phone. I will sometimes if I go to certain places, I will leave my phone out in my car. I don't want to be bothered. There's just no reason to have my phone there in there. And I had this huge argument with this guy. And, and it was an argument in every sense of the word, but it didn't. It it was just weird. I go out to my car and I put Google and I type in a letter. Just I typed in M and yeah, and the name that came up when I typed in M because I was trying to spell out McDonald's because I was hungry. I wanted to just go to a quick burger place or a website see if I can get a coupon. It typed up the person I was arguing about,
Oh my goodness.
and my phone was in my car. I was not in my car, and it still typed it. The first name it came, and I put an M. I didn't get Mickey D's. I didn't get Microsoft. I got the person I was arguing about, and I'm like, okay, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on because none of my hardware is advanced enough to read my mind.
Well, one would hope not, anyway.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
I don't know. I
and it
mean,
happens here. It happens here a lot.
I've seen some tech be used that I never thought would be used that way, and it's just how do you use it? Maybe there is a way, and I don't know about it. There probably is.
I have a buddy who's a big time prepper, big time, big time prepper. He outlines his wallet with um,
Foil.
Aluminum foil.
oil and everything. The government's not going to stock me. I have free range. Dot dot dot. I am jealous of his prep, what he has for prep, but the guy is a bloody idiot, and this is why he's a bloody idiot. The government's not going to track me. Dot dot dot. Let me grab my phone. I'll show you. And I'm like, you do know they could track you via phone? No, because I got a special. What? What do you have that's special? Don't tell me
He's got the
special
batteries
phone because
taken
it's an
out.
Apple. He's like, well, they need that dot 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 because Congress passed the law. Dot 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 dot. I'm like,
Oh yeah, the ones the laws that they are following are the ones who are not. Now I'm confused.
so I mean, the guy just went off on a tirade about how secure everything he is. He's got two homes. One, he bought one of those thing. It's a dugout home. You know, it's buried like
A
20 feet.
bunker.
Bunker. Well, yeah, it's a bunker, and he's about ready to go buy He's about ready to go spend money and buy an old missile
Missile silo.
silo. I mean, the guy has money. The guy's an idiot, but he has money.
Whoa.
And he's like, I'm ready for this to happen. No one's going to be able to track me. I'm going to disappear. And he pulls out his phone, and in the back of my head's like, everywhere you've gone since you've had that phone on you, you know, yeah. And he's like, well, my phone's special, and there's a law on the board saying they can't. I'm like, you're an idiot.
The laws are for the people, not the government.
I thought I said that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you did.
Yay, I bugged myself.
I was just like, it's
Oh, hey,
mind-boggling.
Lamblin, I didn't know you were here. Sorry, I was focused on something
I
else.
haven't said very
Hey,
much. Hello,
Super Mama
Shadow.
Sunshine. No, I was saying hi to Lamblin.
Lamblin is in the
Hi,
chat.
Lamblin. Yes, I saw her.
Yeah,
Sometime
I
during
did. Working on
I did get a little bit of bad news today, Shadow.
Huh.
I got kicked out of my Pathfinder 2 game, Pathfinder 2nd Edition game. That made me somewhat sad. Then I realized, wait, I don't have to spend an hour in a car driving back and forth, so I was happy again.
I just gave away an entire Pathfinder 2 collection because reasons. So,
The reason I got kicked out, I'll tell you at a later date. I'll tell you tomorrow during my show because it's
don't want to get Nathan in trouble.
yeah, I don't want to get it. I don't mind if I get in trouble. I really don't care.
Well,
But-
I don't know. We had a radio show for a number of years and had this kind of conversation on a number of our shows.
Mm.
And funny thing, we had black car parked on our street. It didn't belong there. I know it didn't. I know what goes on around me. So after about 4 or 5 days, I finally said, well, you may as well be friendly. Took pizza to them. They left. And we didn't see them after that.
Changes the whole
Oh
MO
yeah,
right
well
there.
I do. Oh yeah,
I've
my
been
God.
telling people that for literally decades. You see them out there, you bring them donuts and something to drink, coffee and donuts,
Yeah.
and they literally have to leave.
Well, they've been made.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and not only do they have to leave, but then they have to hear it from their superiors on how bad they screwed up, etc. And it goes on their permanent record. that they were so easily made that the person had time to go bring them coffee and donuts.
Well, we did that to about a half a dozen of them, and
Yeah,
it was it finally got through to them that perhaps they probably oughtn't mess with him. And of course, we had Frank's technology, and that made him even more upset. And Frank is something of a special guy where it comes to computers.
Yeah, we
I,
got a
I
few of
am.
those here.
I'm not. I am.
I know you guys aren't talking
Uh,
about me.
I am. I am. How should I put this? Technologically retarded. But I saw Terminator way too early in life. Way. Okay. We
You're just off kilter all across the board, huh?
by like being this way, you know. I
Yeah,
mean,
Oh,
look at Joe's picture here. Look at
yeah,
his back
really.
wall.
oh, I
That's
know.
a slice. A
I
slice.
appreciate. I truly do appreciate people that understand the madness that is that is today's technology. You
It
guys,
sure isn't me. I can shut them
I,
down, but I cannot do them. Yeah,
I
you're
don't.
over there. I see that, Joe.
Resistance.
Well, I can
as
shut them
you
down
go.
too. I don't think they'll ever come back on again.
I
Well,
just don't get them. I mean, that's not true. I do get them. I understand the concept of it. I just, I will never be a programmer. I will never be. I will never be that guy, and I'm fine with that because with my luck, I'm what makes Skynet if left in the wrong area, and nobody wants that.
that's good.
I literally just had latest tech handed to me.
Yeah,
Literally, it was
that
amazing.
blew my mind, Nathan.
Yeah. Oh,
That was truly a great score.
yeah. And I'm going to make the best of it. Recap: I was basically given an iPhone, a nice one, and I'm going to make the best out of it.
Um, can I ask a couple of questions?
Sure.
Stop being
You can
paranoid.
track down that iPhone.
Paranoia is another word for longevity.
Joe, what
Not
did you say?
necessarily.
They can track down that iPhone.
Yeah, I know. I understand. They're welcome to. Go ahead, Shadow.
Where did you get it exactly?
It was basically dumped at my place.
How so?
I will have to go behind the scenes to tell you that because I don't want to do
Okay.
that on the air.
Okay.
I
Well,
will. I'll
I
feel
would
free to
highly
tell you.
recommend whatever you do, do not connect it to your banking information
No, I'm
or
not.
anything
I'm
like
not
that.
doing anything like that.
Okay.
I'm going to use it as ghost hunting and 3D scanner, and that's about it. I've got Twitter on it. That's all.
Yeah, Twitter's not a real place, anyways.
I know. I got Twitter on it because I just.
What is this Twitter people keep talking about?
It is
I
a
don't
black
know, but I don't
hole
want anything to do with it.
Twitter makes me giggle sometimes because there are people I follow that I absolutely morally am against, and they're fighting with each other now, and it just makes me smile. I love this for them.
Like who? Can you give us an example?
It is a Congress lady from Colorado and a Congress lady from Georgia who accused the Jews of having a space laser that starts the fires in California. They are fighting right now, and whenever I see a post where they're being snide with each other, it makes me smile. I'm not trying to be that guy, but get your last where you can.
Well, are you truly amused, or are you thinking to yourself, "My God, I can't believe these two"?
I am truly amused
Okay.
because they both. This is not their first term. They got voted in. This is their second time getting voted in. That means people from their states have bought the Kool Aid factory and voted these people in twice, and they're fighting with each other, and it makes me giggle.
I get it. Two morons, no waiting.
Right. It is
Yeah,
just
well, I got to tell you that the concept of space lasers starting fires in California, I believe that 100%.
no.
Um,
That I get that. It was just the group of people she says owns them. Because
um,
I called one of my Jewish friends and it's like, you asshole. He's like, what? I'm like, you asshole. He's like, what? I'm like, you didn't tell me your people have a Death Star.
well, see, the problem with that is there are a group of those people that are incredibly evil,
There's a
but they're
group
not
of
the ones that
every type of
everybody.
people that are incredibly evil.
It's hard to go into, but there's a group of people that have been around for a very, very long time that just use that word as an affiliation, even though they're not, so they can hide amongst them. And they're pretty evil sons of bitches and fully capable of pulling off everything she said. She could have worded it better, but
I,
um,
I get it. I understand where you're going with this one. I don't like her as a person. I don't like either one of these people as a person. It is Twitter is giving me free tickets to the cheap sheets at a how should I put this, at a comedy show that I think is absolutely ridiculous, and I look forward to keep. It just it makes me smile. And how often, Shadow, do you see me smile?
every time I see you on camera,
No, that's a horrible lie. I gotta fix that.
I
I'm
mean, it
normally
might not be for appropriate reasons, but it's still there
that's
nonetheless.
fair.
I heard that joke.
That's fair. I am a grumpy, tankerous bastard.
Oh, if you ever need lessons, that guy next to you on the screen can tell you how to do
Being cantankerous,
it. No,
being honored.
being smiling and happy go lucky and absolutely right.
You ever go to those restaurants where like the waiters are like super happy and they got weird shit on their uniforms? I
No, I
can't
don't
think
go to
of
Bubbly
restaurants.
people.
the type of
Like
restaurant where
when I ask him, you should smile. He goes, I am smiling.
It's,
but
it's in here. It's in
You're
here.
talking about me.
Yes.
I can't think of the name of the restaurant, but there's a restaurant about where they basically are paid to be freaking happy, perky people, and I just want to stab them all with my fork.
So what
I
does Jim
feel
Story
ya.
say? Get the shiny people over here and the happy people over here.
They don't know what's going on.
I know what that is. They're forced to do it, and it's about as fake as a $3 bill.
I thought it was never mind.
You see, and
Yeah, I
somebody's
was.
perky like that. I'm just like, phew, just get
There's a
away.
restaurant down in Nashville called Dick's Last Resort or something like that.
uh,
And they're assholes. They're complete are assholes to their customers. And I was been told multiple times that I need to go work there. I'm like,
you be in your niche,
I would be so in my niche. It's like oh. Walter from the comedian Jeff Dunham. Walter,
right?
he's my spirit animal.
Years ago, there was a restaurant that specialized in going up to your table and salting the ever living daylights out of you.
Oh.
Yeah, and bringing you everything except what you ordered. I don't
What
know
was
how
that?
long this.
Don Rickles had a restaurant.
It would seem so. And I was talking about that, to I think it was Frank, and we were talking about it at the table with our daughter-in-law and our son, and the waitress said, if I can get a tip out of it, I will insult the ever living daylights out of you. I say, oh, go for the gusto, baby. I got to hear this as long as I can respond to it. It was
Oh yeah.
on. It
No,
was on.
I went to the restaurant they were talking about, and they were the chef's kiss. They were good at the craft. I should work here, and I fired back once or twice, and it was amazing. I just it was not the job for me. I don't like no. I no.
I wasn't thrilled with it either, but this chick balanced a coffee cup on her foot, poured this thing, brought the foot up, and put it on the table. And I said, "You're a dancer." And she goes, "How did you know?" I said, "Because you didn't use your toes." Just that kind of thing. And but I've never seen anybody do that. And she had complete control of the coffee, and it was hotter, just hotter than a mother-in-law's temper.
I think
And
I had that mother-in-law.
you do what?
I think I had that mother-in-law.
Hotter than a mother-in-law's temper.
Jesus.
Oh gosh, that's an old one.
Yeah, you know the definition of mixed feelings?
Watching your new car go over the
Rock
cliff
and
with your
remove?
mother-in-law.
Uh, Watching your mother-in-law drive off the cliff with your new car?
That's
Yeah,
yeah. You
yeah,
just said that literally.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm fortunate. I have never had a bad mother-in-law. I've had lousy husbands at times, but never a bad mother-in-law.
I got a lousy first wife and a mother-in-law. It
Oh,
was
a twofer. Oh, you gotta think though. You've learned quite a lot from that. Might not have been a very pleasant experience. I know it wasn't for me,
I
but
I keep threatening my family with writing a tell-all book.
yeah, but who would know?
I
That's
just
my problem. Nobody cares.
the problem is I just don't know what to file it under as being, nonfiction, fiction, satire, or drama.
I think the word you're looking for is horror.
I was thinking breakfast table. You know,
Yeah,
that's
no.
exactly what I was thinking.
I've been told. I was told. My aunt realized I had a rough sense of humor when I was about 19. Like, if you become a comedian, I will disown you. All right. For the sake of Nathan, I'm going to keep this next story PG-13 ish.
On the
My
R-ish side or on the X-ish side?
On the R-ish side, because even yeah. It's still PG-13 in a movie if you say fuck, least, but you can only say it once. So I'm gonna go that direction. So this is Thanksgiving. My youngest brother just got told that he'll be starting on the high school varsity team as a baseball player. He was a great baseball player. He really was until he threw out his shoulder. My middle brother, Chris, was just informed that he will be going to this a very highly respected art college because he can draw and paint and all those fun things. He's also crazier than hell, but that's besides the point.
That's an artist.
Right. I mean,
Got it.
anyways, I'm failing out of college at this point. I got a scholarship to play rugby and to drink. I'm good at the rugby part. I'm good at the drinking part. Not so good at the schooling part. But I'm failing out of college, and there's just no way around it. And it's Thanksgiving, and the age-old question that gets brought up is like, so my aunt points out. So I want, I think she says, Aaron, I'm so proud of you for doing the baseball team. Chris, I'm so proud of you for your college, going to college to become an artist. So, blankety blank blank, which is my real name. It's legally, I've been blankety blank blank for years now. She's like, so what you're doing? In the back of my head, I was thinking to myself, finding new ways to stick my dick into a toaster.
I've heard that one. Oh, gee whiz.
I give a BS answer. I'm taking a stab at this class. We'll see how it works out.
Murder She Wrote?
Murder She Wrote.
It's having
you,
fun.
you
I
know,
always when Murder She Wrote have a crossover with Matlock.
oh dear God. I don't know.
I was raised by my grandparents. I know
That's
the old time
twisted.
TV shows.
I get it. I was raised by my mother who loved both of those.
I I don't get along with people my own age. I don't get along with people my own age. Uh,
Oh, a disclaimer, ain't it, Nathan?
I don't get along with kids my own age. I never really have. I think it's just because I was raised by my grandparents. I mean,
Yeah, I can't make this stuff up. So, yeah.
You know, my family always sent out a Christmas letter, and one of my aunts was sort of a snob, and she would put on her Christmas letter that her daughter was accepted into Harvard, and the son was accepted into Yale, and I mean, she would just absolutely lay it on thick. So my father wrote a Christmas letter. He put on there, and none of it was true, I promise you it wasn't. But he says, well, I thank God that Lynn finally got on probation and got out of jail. That was a high point of our year. And then he went down the line with my sisters. And Dina's only 3 or 4 months pregnant now. Last year she was too. I mean, things like that, and just horrible stuff that you wouldn't expect to hear. And he sent that to his entire family. Just pleased as punch with himself that he had done this. And then he showed it to me, and I said, you have ruined me with our family. What are you thinking? You know? And he goes, it was funny, ain't it?
Oh yeah, it's funny. It's just it depends on how big of a ripple that it causes
Oh,
and
it blew.
how much cleaning up after you have to deal with.
Oh my gosh, the Christmas tree went nuclear. You know, it was that kind of thing. And I'm like, so I get these letters from my aunts and uncles congratulating me on getting out of jail. You know, things like that. And I mean, they really played it for everything they could stick it for because they knew Dad was just being a. What you said about the toaster, and you know, it. But those types of sense of humor. Gosh, there's just fewer and fewer of that. And oh to God, I look back at that. It was funny as hell.
Yeah, no. I mean, there is a meme that I have. I almost printed it out, went to go somewhere where I can get it as a poster size printout. And it basically says when people ask me what was wrong with me, it's a picture of Sam Kinison, George Clooney, George Carlton, a bunch of the old 90s, not 90s, 80s, 70s, 90s comedians, and saying these were my heroes growing up. I appreciate rough humor, and
That's good.
unfortunately, our current environment that we live in does not appreciate rough humor.
Well, they cry if they stub their toe. I
Uh,
guess
They,
that
you-
might
they don't.
be.
They don't even know what humor is anymore. Who are we kidding?
I mean, I make as much as I make fun of somebody, I will make fun of myself 5 times more.
Oh yeah, heck, that's more fun than any of it.
I mean, I'm Irish Romanian. One part of me wants to drink, the other part wants the part to. One part of me wants to drink, the other part's thinking about stealing your wallet. It is what it is. It's
It's a Romanian or Romany?
yeah, you got it right. My grandma was full blooded.
Oh, okay.
I got a tattoo of the evil eye on my shoulder to keep me out of trouble.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Connell, it's
Yeah.
not working.
Well, I am talking to you out of my apartment, not in a prison cell, so it's doing something.
He has a point.
Does he have something around his ankle?
Hey!
Hey,
Do not talk about things that are around my ankles. Wait, that didn't come
the
out
only
right.
thing I got around my ankle
That
is
was
three
pretty. That was pretty
grandchildren.
quick, Joe. That was pretty quick. You beat me to it.
That was good. I liked
No,
it.
I'm not under house arrest. I might be.
Yeah.
No, I'm not under house arrest. I might be whitish. I'm not richish.
Prove it. Walk outside that door. Walk outside that door.
No, it's cold outside. Oh,
Yeah, I
speaking
like
of
the
being
story.
cold.
It's a
Freaking
likely story.
DM James was wearing his Russian hat with the bunny Russian hat, and he's like dressed up warmly, and he's living down in Florida, and he's like, I'm barefooted and I'm cold. It's 64 degrees. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
Hey,
it's
did you see
64.
the hat that? Hey,
I've
did you
actually
see the
been
hat?
pretty happy.
Rick sent this hat to Jackie. Rick sent this hat to Jackie all the way from Kazakhstan.
Are
Gee.
you standing outside of your Winnebago by any chance?
No,
Bagel.
I don't live in a Winnebago.
You know what
But isn't
movie
this
I'm
great?
referring to?
Yeah,
I'm talking about
Take off,
Christmas.
hoser.
Christmas. What?
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes, yes. In
No,
fact, and
no, man, this
that's
is comfy.
interesting that he came out with that because I need a hat like that because next year my family has decided to decorate for Christmas, and it's a toss up between National Lampoon's Christmas and Die Hard. And that's what. Yes, you've figured
I
it
don't
out.
know if you could see this, but a friend of mine for Christmas sent me these. They're stickers,
Uh-huh.
and it's in the shape of a old movie ticket. And it's one. It says, "Oh look, my last fuck to give."
Well, see, and that's where I was going. That Christmas thing, our
Yeah.
neighbors got together and decided to tell us that we really should decorate for Christmas. And I said
Yeah.
I do. I have a red car that's not running out in the front yard, and one string of Christmas lights. What more do you want from me? You
Hey,
know?
tell you what, I will decorate my house more under one condition. Oh yeah, what's that condition? You paid electricity bill.
Exactly. Exactly. And so we thought about it. We know somebody with a very old Winnebago. And we were brainstorming this thing, and I said, I got it. Cousin Eddie. It's got to be Cousin Eddie.
That was Randy
Waving
Quaid.
to
Yeah,
the
Randy
waving
Quaid's
to the
character.
neighbors with a hose aimed at the sewer. It's got to be. That has to be the one. That will tell
Yeah.
the neighbors not to bother this household about Christmas lights.
I think that is really the only movie of not Randy Quaid, but Chevy Chase that I can stomach anymore. I don't know what it is. I used to be a fan of his,
You grew up.
especially. Yeah, I liked him in Fletcher. I liked him in a few other things there for a while, and it might have been I grew up and just he stopped being funny to me, and I don't know what it is of what I don't know. I'm like, this guy's a real ass.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I think that's what it was. You grew up and the sophomoric stuff that was really a big thing in the 80s and 90s, very big thing, the sophomoric stuff, uh, just stopped being funny as of about the
Nathan,
1990s.
that was classic.
You know, I'm talking about revenge Christmas decorating here.
Hey,
You know,
you don't. I mean, I'm the guy who told a Christmas story, a one-shot D&D, well, Pathfinder technically. No, it was D&D. One Christmas story. You could find it on YouTube under Table Breakers. It's a group that me and Shadow are with. My Christmas story was more of a not Ukrainian, more of a Eastern European story where the Krampus was kidnapping kids and Baba Yaga was turning them into pies.
I love it. I love it. That's great.
See, people like it, Shadow, not just me.
Sorry, I got a problem with glorifying the abduction of children in any shape or form. Sorry,
Yeah, and
call me weird.
it's understandable that you would. You know, and it
Well, I get why it's only there's like I don't want to say
Well,
only in America.
you know what us Russians say.
You have to be Russians first to say it. I don't know. I like my Santa Claus not to be a diabetic. I like my Christmases to be a little bit dark. So when when the next day and the sun comes up, all is good.
I don't know. I've never had a Christmas or a Yule celebration or a uh, some of the others that
Uh,
wasn't a happy time. You know,
I,
and I celebrate solstice.
I mean, hell, technically, we hang up our Christmas trees wrong. They're supposed to be upside down, hanging from the roof or the ceiling. They're not supposed to be. Hey, that's traditional Christmas tree decorating there, Shadow. You can shake your head all you want, but that is traditional.
Is that to keep the cat out of it or what?
Is that how you keep your crucifix too?
I don't have a crucifix. I have an action figure of the crow from the 1985, 80 whatever,
I don't
90 something like.
remember.
I don't actually have a cross in my house. I find them distasteful. I'm a weird Catholic. I know.
Wow.
I I I I don't know. I'm a weird Catholic. I admit it. I've come to notice I'm not the only one though. I know a few. I know like maybe across the world, like almost 20 other people are like me, personality of my views on church and everything.
No, there's one here.
Hmm.
I'm not. I will not disrespect anybody else's religion. I don't mind disrespected, so I don't offer that to others. It is not a symbol I prefer. I prefer if you're going to celebrate something, I would prefer to celebrate a feast rather than a
You
death.
know, I'm right there behind you, and I am one hell of a cook.
So am
You
I.
want to be.
For Easter, I there for a long time. I was married. I would every Easter I would serve my kids rabbit.
That is cool. My
It's
dad
just
asked me for rabbit one year, and I gave him rabbit. I gave him
it
possum
is a
pepper.
traditional Easter meal. It wasn't mine, so that's why I make.
Nathan, you got to get a picture of that, man.
Yeah, I think so. But possum pepper is
Oh,
that's
oh
one of
yeah.
the best things going.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't had a rabbit in a long time, long time.
Oh,
My parents raised rabbit for a while, and I think Dad was just wanting something that he felt was more traditional, and that's very traditional. At least in our household, it was. But
Yeah,
he
but
raised
raising
rabbit.
rabbits out here is hard.
So what's that, Joe? A little louder.
Raising rabbits out here is hard. You've
Yeah.
got the you've got the disease that gets them, and then the heat gets them.
I'm about ready to
But
start raising
we've got,
chickens, though.
yeah, same here. We're doing that this year, chickens. But we've got a lot of, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure they're rabbits. They look like rabbits. They could be hares, but they're tiny and they're all over the freaking place.
Rabbits, hares, coney are all the same creature. They're
Yeah.
bunny. I mean, they're different. They're different bunnies,
But
but they're all rabbits. It's
well,
like a dog.
they're pretty small.
That's fair. I'm just saying a Chihuahua next to a Great Dane is small as hell, but it's still a dog. It's like
I
keeping
don't
it
know
Well,
close.
about that.
I think
I
A
don't know
I
about
think
that.
chihuahua,
if
make
you
sure you know it too.
yeah, but I think if you check with a biologist, no, hares and rabbits are definitely different genius.
I thought they were the same creature.
No,
Well, I learn something new every day. No, my grandma would make a rabbit stew at least once every couple of weeks. She'd make a rabbit stew growing up.
The biggest problem with rabbit is getting enough nutrients.
Oh
If your
yeah,
meat supply
there's
is only rabbits,
you
um,
can die of protein poisoning if you eat nothing but rabbits.
yeah, I don't know precisely what it's called, but it can leave you pretty well. Your red blood cells get depleted,
Uh,
and
you can
it's
only eat
not
them in
good.
certain time of the. You can only what's the right wordage? You can only harvest them at certain times of the year because of
Right.
yeah. There's a trick to it.
Rocky Mountain spotted fever, I think is what you told me, Joe. So some of that stuff can be devastating to a herd of rabbits or other creatures that get that, because a human being can get Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and it's very hard to get rid of. I think that this went absolutely still. What happened?
Nathan's
Uh,
having a conversation in chat. Shadow is being a
reading
shadow.
chat. It's just really hard for me to read the chat because it's so freaking tiny on my tablet.
You need to get a laptop there, Hoss.
I'm just being lazy. I've
Things
only
are
got
moving along here.
2 Saturdays a month to do it in, and this particular one of those Saturdays was chock full of doing other stuff.
Did you? I still have to. Oh, God. I still need to watch the movie for tomorrow.
Yeah, same here.
I'm not familiar.
Tomorrow, me, Shadow, his son, young gentleman Jack, Shadow, gentleman Jack, and Bo and Omenau are
And Mark.
we do a Sunday review where one of us picks a movie or a book. If it's a movie, it normally takes us almost 2 weeks before we review it. If it's a movie, it's normally one movie. Everybody picks out one movie. We all review it. And this coming tomorrow was Gentleman Jack's pick, and yeah, he picked out a very interesting movie for us all to watch. I'm trying to put that in the best light as I can.
And it's
Connell hates
called
it.
For Tomorrow?
For tomorrow. Well,
Huh.
later today, depends on how you look at the clock.
Well, the movie's called Attack of the Clones.
No, the movie is called Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. Don't try to pretty it up.
And Jackie and I are big old Star Wars fans, as is Nathan.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Star Wars
Connell, not so much.
is a
Connell,
big
not so
thing
much.
here. Star Trek too.
Yeah,
I,
Connell
I,
despises it.
it's not that I despise Star Wars. I think there's a few of the Star Wars trilogy movies that are actually pretty good. Rogue One, I really enjoyed. Uh, I really enjoyed Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, dude, dude,
Um,
dude. The best one everyone knows to be Empire Strikes Back. That's
Yes.
the best.
no,
Yes.
no. Yeah, the Bad Batch. Yeah, yeah, the Bad Batch is fun. I like that one. I Star Wars got ruined for me because of one of my family members who is a therapist, and it's funny. I think it's funny how he describes Star Wars, but it did ruin it for me. And he's like, the whole trilogy is one great big Freud speech about daddy issues.
I suppose it is.
It is, and I'm like,
Well,
That's yeah, that's a therapist for you.
I mean, I wish he was wrong, but he wasn't, and it kind of just shot the whole show, the whole movie in the rump for me.
Now see, and it, I guess one of the reasons that I like it
I
is
get a new
because
therapist, Connell.
It's not my main therapist; it's a family member. I'm stuck with them.
I refer to my previous statement.
I, just because you don't like it doesn't mean he's not right.
I think the reason that I like a thing is one of the few movies that I ever got to take my mother to, and
I get
she
that.
enjoyed herself immensely. And it was one of the last things that I got to do with her while she was alive.
That is more than fair. Me and my grandpa every Saturday went to go see whatever was playing at the theater growing up. Movies was a big deal with him, and going to the movie theater was a big deal to him. It was like going to church in a sense, and we'd go catch a early evening film. Then Grandma would have dinner for waiting for us. Then when we got home, we would talk about the movie, our favorite parts of the movie. It was a whole deal, and I tried to share that experience with my daughter, and she just never took to it. So I've done other things with her
How
that
old is your child?
11 going on 30.
Got it. Understand completely.
You got a 30 going on what?
11 going on 30.
No, I'm talking about her.
Oh,
Oh, I looked it up. Genetically, a hare has 48 chromosomes, and a rabbit has 44. And
oh,
it's
so they really are
bipedal.
two different creatures. I thought they were all.
Right.
Huh.
I'll be damned.
Learn something new
But,
every day.
but it's just like a mule and a horse. Cross them and get a donkey. An infertile female.
Can
How
a
about that?
crossbreed?
Yeah, but
I'll be damned.
it forms infertile females.
Well, where's the fun in that?
Well, I'd say the female
That
was
depends
probably
on.
a lot happier without a bunch of kids hanging around.
I don't
No,
know. It's like,
I don't know. I don't normally date outside my species, so it's hard to say.
Me either.
well, $20 is
But
20
we do
bucks.
talk to each other. You got to remember that about females.
Uh-oh.
I I don't date twins. I learned that lesson years ago. If I found a girl I'm interested in has a twin sister, I'm like, nope.
What are you worried about?
Yeah, no, That's I got played and I got dumped. It was a bad day. I don't. I twins scare me.
Well, that's funny.
Not really. I really like the girl.
Oh, really, I'm thinking about it, thinking what all the tricks they could have played on you. You know?
How it started up was I really liked her, and apparently her twin sisters thought those two were arguing, and the conversation got brought up. He should be able to tell us apart. I'm a guy. I'm an idiot,
Well,
and I got yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
tell you what, not just with twins, but certain families, the girls all look like each other, and just to screw with your head, they will all make sure they have the exact same hair color and trade around their clothes too. And you know how I know that?
Oh
I
yeah.
had four sisters.
So
Girls are
none of the
wicked.
eighth one
They're
twins.
wicked. Twins are not. They are wicked people. It's just we we do some of the we used to go to each other's classes, especially if we weren't doing well and send the sister that was. You know. And then they'd have to come back and tutor the one that didn't go and say, now look, this is how this works. But the teacher never knew. Either that or chose to ignore it.
Yeah, no, I was I yeah, I couldn't tell them apart. They were identical twins, and their voices were slightly different enough where if they're both talking, I could tell them apart, but they could make it where they sound like each other.
Uh huh.
I was screwed.
Oh, well. I think, though, that there's nothing worse on a twin than losing their twin because
No,
that's
yeah.
half of them. Then that's exactly how I see it, too.
I think Nathan's running to wrap it up, and we're way off topic.
I don't
But
even see Nathan anymore. Did he go to bed?
no, we have me and Shadow have a mutual friend named Bruce. Bruce every so often will fall asleep on camera.
Yeah, but that's because alcohol's involved.
Doesn't mean it makes it any less funny.
We were on a show years and years ago where fella was on. There were two people. One was in the States. The other was in Wales. And well, long story short, the guy in UK just absolutely had a good time, a
Mm.
really good time, and fell asleep on the show. And this is a New Year's Eve show, so it was planned to be on for some time, and technology was quite a bit different at that time than it is now. It'd be pretty simple to straighten that out now. But at the time, we couldn't. And he was snoring. Oh my gosh, he was snoring.
Oh, so was Bruce.
So we had fun. I mean, we told him they said all sorts of things that he didn't say, and then he promised somebody else something else, and we had a good time. We really did. He didn't remember any of it.
I going back to manifesting. I mean, I remember when I was first talking to my ex-wife. She's like, "So what are you looking for?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to be with somebody who can be my conscience because I have one. It's just it doesn't speak up all that often. Like I said, I can
The
damn
buttons don't
near.
work.
Yeah, he speaks Greek and I speak, not. It doesn't always translate over to the same conversation. So I said I want to date somebody that could be my conscience. Well, it turned out she wasn't my conscience. She was definitely something else. But my daughter is my conscience. She's the one that keeps me on the straight and narrow, and she doesn't quite know it yet, but she has saved a few people from my wrath, I should put it. And so my daughter, is my conscience. So when it comes to manifesting, that is probably the truest experience I ever had to anything being manifest was my daughter. For example, uh, I was at a Mickey D's here in, where I live, and the guy across the counter that was supposed to be taking my order called me. He's like, "What can I get you, boy?"
Uh-uh.
And if this was,
It's a good thing you didn't do that down here. Gee.
if this was like, I don't know, 10 years ago, I would have been over the counter. It
Yeah,
just
yeah, but
he meant it the way you took it.
I got it.
And oh yeah, I live in a very intolerant city in Illinois. It was rated back in the early '90s of being the most racist cities in America, South and North Pekin, on a Jay Leno show. It's a fun little area.
Yeah, I've been there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. Anyway,
So,
I
Nathan,
I
how are you
spent
doing?
Because of it.
I did spend some time there, but it's it, our kids keep us from doing a lot of dumb things. They really do. And then again, they inspire us to do a few too. you know,
Yeah, I'll agree with the second half.
inspire us to do some dumb things too.
It's when my two youngest stepsons, the two boys she came into this marriage with. I was. Did you ever watch that '70s show?
Sorry,
No. Any of you guys saw the?
I'm not a television person at all.
I
So
think Chad would like it. Yeah, that '70s show is. It was his decade. Wait, Mikey. Yeah, '70s. That was your time, wasn't it?
I was incredibly busy.
Oh, I'm picking on
I
I
Chad
didn't
was
right
watch
now.
what
television.
I was 10, 12 at the end of it.
Oh, so it's the end of your. Okay,
Yeah, I don't remember the '70s because
drugs.
uh,
Not at
no,
all.
No.
I wasn't involved in it. I stayed out
It's
of the
like somebody.
scene.
If somebody asks me, "Hey, do you remember the early 2000s?" No. Why not? I was drinking a lot.
No, no, mine was I wasn't participating.
Yeah, that's fair.
How do you pull that off? Because I want to not participate in the 2020s, but it's just not working.
I
None of
was
us
just very
participated
solitary.
that year. I'm sorry, Joe.
I just remained very solitary during that period of time.
I was drunk and pissed most of the 2000s, early 2000s.
I was teaching martial arts.
Yeah, what style?
Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, Ishinru, Shoinru, Kung Fu. Uh, Let me think for a second. There's another one in there somewhere. Number of styles. We went wide, not high. So, and I went high in some of them. I mean, I know quite a bit of Kung Fu. I know a lot of Ishinru and Shoinru, which is the both hands. It's called the Way of the Dragon. And it's a dragon sort of arrangement. It's more of a Japanese style. But the we that's what I was interested in. I learned to teach it, and that's what I did. And that's I was involved in that, totally involved in it.
When I was younger, in a great deal better shape than I am now, I always loved the martial arts. I always enjoyed all of the ones I was able to take part in. I mainly did a lot of boxing for the most part. Boxing was always my bag. Left-handed in the boxer, yeah, it worked out well for me there for a while.
Oh yeah.
But I picked up capoeira because I was doing gymnastics, and I saw somebody do capoeira, and I found out there was a place locally to where I was living that did it. So I picked that up for a while, and I jokingly, not jokingly, studied drunken. The Jackie Chan drunken kung fu.
Oh yeah, monkey kung fu is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing that for a little bit just because I was still flexible and limber enough to do a lot of the stances.
Yeah, I did some of that.
I can now, but if I try, I end up, in bed for like 3 days because my back is not what it used to be.
Yeah, I can relate to that totally.
Yeah.
It's like, can you still do that? I forget what it's called. Can you still do that capoeira handstand where my hands, it's a one-handed handstand and my legs are doing a weird position? I'm like, yeah, I can still do it. Are you sure? Call the ambulance now and I'll do it here in a second.
The mind is absolutely willing. The body say, "What in the heck are you thinking?"
Yeah, I got a buddy who's talked me into this coming April. I will be help training young boxers, so
That'll
I'm
be
looking
fun.
forward to that. And I am looking. I've been watching videos, and this will make Nathan happy. I've been watching videos and trying to figure out as much as I can. I'm still watching a lot of videos on it on quantum foam.
I
Uh,
am totally lost with that one.
You said foam.
Quantum foam.
Enlighten me, please.
I wish I could, but I don't have a doctor in it. It quantum foam. I can't. I will do it so much injustice. Just type it in when you get a chance to Google it. It is very interesting stuff. Through quantum foam, the possibility of quantum teleportation is possible. Like beam me up, Scotty.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay, I'll look that up. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the
You ever
show notes.
did you? There is this author named Michael Crichton. We
I
reviewed.
know him. I know Michael Crichton well. Well, his works.
Right. Have you ever read a book called Timeline?
If I did, I can't remember it. Probably not.
Get a chance to check it back out. It is the best kind of nerd. It's really intelligent nerdyism.
Okay.
So much better than the book. We reviewed the book, and the book is the movie. I enjoyed the movie when it came out. I still enjoy the movie now. It's reading the
All
book.
right.
It's like playing for the majors, and watching the movie is on the quality of being on what's that baseball for kids where it's on a
Ball.
stand and they, what
T-ball.
T-ball.
T-ball. The movie is T-ball, and the book is like major leagues.
Okay. Quantum foam or space-time foam is a theoretical quantum fluctuation of space-time on very small scales due to quantum mechanics. The theory predicts that at these small scales, particles of matter and antimatter are constantly created and destroyed. These subatomic objects are called virtual particles from Wikipedia. That's just a cursory Google search.
Yeah.
Sounds like Ant-Man.
Well, with quantum foam, yeah, but with quantum foam, you can manipulate the laws of existence.
You're familiar with this?
Slightly.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course
Of
he is. It's
anyone,
Joe.
it would be
It's
you.
Joe. Come on.
Yeah.
I
I know,
I
right?
could fill up a thimble of what I understand about it, and I keep going at it, figuring if I bounce my head off this quantum wall enough, it'll eventually stick and build up.
Well, from what I understand of quantum reality, uh, no, you're not, and neither am I. Ready for
Yeah.
that?
I think
I
it's
don't
really interesting
know.
stuff.
Where does
I
that Planck
think
scale?
What is it,
What was
Joe?
that?
Where does it fall on the Planck scale?
See, I'm not qualified to answer that, and I don't understand where it would fall on the Planck scale. If I knew, well, if I understood this, I could probably give you a bad answer, but I don't understand it. So,
I mean, I'm listening to videos on YouTube about it. I'm listening to TED Talks. I got a few people that are in the field of quantum science that work at the local university. Well, local to me would be the couple towns away university, and it's very interesting stuff. In theory, this, I mean, it has to do with quantum entanglement, and it's really cool. And I wish I can give it a better definition other than it's
As
really cool. But
above, so below.
right, but man, this stuff is interesting as hell.
I think a lot of this goes back to 0 point energy and just the mind's ability to affect that. And
oh,
I
okay,
don't pretend to understand it, but I do sort of. I get it. I don't know how else to put it. I get it. Manifesting in itself
hmm
is so 0 point energy, and it is absolutely a quantum thing, as you like to point out. But there are people in this world, and I use it quite often, but I'm by no means an expert at it, and I don't know anyone who truly is, except maybe Keith might be
I was about to say,
doing it, not necessarily explaining it. But it's a entirely new field in comparison to what we have been doing in the past. In the past, everything has been very much hands-on, reality-based, and this is theory, and yet some of us are actually doing it. So
yeah, um,
there has to be a quantifier, a way of proving, and we just haven't come up with it yet.
yeah. The way I put it is, um, it's kind of like a meme. It's very meme sounding. The aliens look at us and say, "Oh, the meat monkeys play with rocks and dirt and call it science."
Yeah.
That's the way I don't know. I came up with it one day. I was feeling sarcastic.
Well, you
I
know,
always like the Tony Stark from the X Men, not the X Men, from the Marvel comic book. Magic is not real; it's just science that I don't quite understand yet.
it's very true. How much of magic was go back 150 years. We'll just go that far. Not very much farther than that. And there was no such thing as antibiotics or vaccines for that matter. There was none of the medicine that we have created in the last 100 years. And
And they understood the principles of light, of making a light bulb, but couldn't make one that lasted.
yeah, they
I don't know. There's that light bulb in that the firehouse fire station that's over like 100 years old and still going, or
Yeah,
maybe
it's
not
like
100 years.
115 years old.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's still an Edison. It's still an Edison bulb, which is not 150.
But my point is that everything that looks like magic, we'll call it that for lack of a better term, has some sort of explanation, whether we may not be at a place with our minds that can grasp it yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's more than fair. I just, like I said, I've been looking into this stuff for like the last couple weeks now, cause about the last couple weeks, and I continue to keep looking into it. And it's some of the theories that they're coming out with this is just absolutely batshit beyond normal sanity possibilities. But at the same time, we are still quite not understanding how the fun. No, that's not the right wordage. Goes back to that Shakespeare quote.
Had a little glitch right there.
I guess.
Okay. 1901, Livermore Centennial light bulb, California. That's the oldest light bulb. Fire station number 6, Livermore, California. Anyway, wanted to throw that out there.
Okay.
Okay. So my numbers were wrong, but not too wrong.
Still, 1901 is 2000.
123 years, well, 122 years old. That
Yeah.
one.
I said 115. I was wrong. Anyway.
But
I heard 50 from you, so by mistake.
Oh, I said 115.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
I
still.
heard
I got
150.
my speech is impaired a little bit. Okay,
I heard
quantum.
150.
Yeah, my bad. I said 115.
I think I said 150. That's what it was.
there's this guy on TED Talk says quantum foam could be the gateway to venture the multiverse.
Yeah, but how do you manipulate a theoretical item?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. But from a curiosity and imagination point of view, it is fuel. It is jet fuel to a person's imagination.
Okay,
Right.
Connell. I want you to stretch your quantum legs practically. Go to a rock shop. Order it on Amazon. Get you a chunk of crystal. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what kind of crystal. It doesn't have to be worked and fancy into a necklace. It can just be, this is quartz, right?
Right.
Okay, get
And
you,
make sure you get real quartz.
yeah, don't get glass, right?
Right.
Get quartz crystal. Amazon is a good place to get it because they sell it in bulk, but whatever, that's me.
I have a
And-
rock
You
store.
have-
I have
you
a
have
rock, a what do they have a metaphysic store I can tell for me. But anyways,
Get it.
Do you have a laser pointer? Do you
um,
have a laser pointer?
I don't have one handy.
No, but Connell,
Or-
well, if you want to know if you got real quartz, doesn't necessarily work as well with man-made quartz, but you want to know if you have real quartz or glass, take a laser pointer and point it into the quartz.
was a
See a bunch
fractal.
of little dancing sparkles
Right.
dancing around. That's real quartz. If it shoots through or comes off at an angle but doesn't dance, it's glass.
That's
It
Okay,
will look alive inside of it.
so I'm looking for well, God, wordage.
You're
Right.
looking for roulated quartz.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to be roulating either, but
I really am smart. Just my mouth makes me sound like I'm an idiot.
Oh, it's okay. I
Raven.
think we're all kind of off tonight.
I did a whole first hour on programming quartz. Me and you were here, Lynn. We were talking
Yep.
about programming quartz, and
Right.
I have this one programmed as an amplifier, and that's a simple job for
I'm
this
sorry.
thing to do.
Excuse me.
So back to what you're wanting me to go buy a crystal. Doesn't matter what size, just a quartz crystal.
A quartz crystal would be best
Crystal.
because it's like your general purpose crystal, in
Right.
my opinion, right? And
Right,
then
Right.
Uh, I want you. You know basics of meditation, right? I don't mean the lotus position and all that crap. I mean
I
just
understand the concept. It's never quite worked for me, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
that's okay. Take. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like you've been taught wrong. It sounds like you've been taught like you
Probably.
have to go and for an hour or something. No.
I
Uh
can never make it through that.
no, that's not it. Do you have a repetitive task, a chore that you do?
Yes.
Take one. Take one of those. I don't need to know what it is. Take your quartz and just focus on what you're doing with your quartz in your pocket. Okay? That's meditation. And tell it to do something. Just tell it to do something. Let me explain that. Tell it to be, do like me, right? Easy one. Amplifier. Be my
Gotcha.
amplifier. Just do your repetitive task with your quartz in there or hold it in your hand, your mouth, wherever, right? On you, and you tell it, be my amplifier. Amplifier. That's it. One word, amplifier. And carry it around with you and see what happens.
See if
Okay.
you do your task
Nathan, you
quicker
remember?
or more completely or more clearly. It actually works like that.
Oh,
Remember, Nathan,
uh,
you
I
remember the crystal I had, the quartz crystal I had from TI?
I vaguely remember that the created one.
Right, and remember, I'd hand people just, I'd grab a crystal out of the cabinet and hand it to somebody, and then I'd
Right.
hand them this one and say, "What do you feel?" And
I
people
do
would,
remember doing that. That was like
yeah, and
day
they
number.
said, "Yeah, do you
Yeah,
feel
I
the
remember
energy?
you doing that.
I feel energy from this one." I'm going, okay, but there are other people say, "Well, this one's cold." And I go, "Well, that's nice. I guess I'm not inviting you to circle."
You did that with me. I remember that,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "What is it?" Because it sure ain't crystal, you know.
It was.
Or I'm
It's a
sorry, it
quartz
sure ain't
crystal, but
quartz.
yeah, it was, but it was grown.
You, you know, it just there is a different feel to those than there is to a natural one. Totally different.
Yes.
Shadow, you still with us? Or are you passing out, old man?
I'm here. Been a long day.
You should have came with me to go have dinner. It was. I had a really nice time at the place I went to.
I
Well, I
wear
didn't
an
go too long.
amethyst quite often, Nathan.
What a
I
sunstone.
also wear a sunstone.
You know me, Connell. I hate restaurants.
No, it wasn't. Think about where was I going in your? What did I say I was going in your chat earlier?
Oh, yeah, I don't do those either.
They serve really good steak and burgers.
That's the restaurant.
Okay, with very interesting servers.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, no, I don't like paying people freaking 5 times the amount it would cost me to make my own food. That's just
And I understand that to a certain degree, but after COVID, I kind of hate my own cooking.
Oh wow. You know,
that
I
doesn't
I
make any
really
sense. You are a
enjoy
cook.
cooking. Uh, I taught I
That doesn't
taught my
make any sense.
husband how to cook, and
Mm,
I'm getting to a place where I'd rather stay home too. You know, 'cause his
I
cooking's terrific.
I just I cook for a living. And after so long of eating my own cooking, I just got tired of it. Food is a very
We do everything with food. Socialize.
Oh yeah,
We everything is food. Everything is.
I could be sitting at the restaurant by myself, going to a restaurant by myself, and find myself at somebody else's table enjoying a meal with them. I don't get that here at home.
Yeah, I have a completely different outlook when it comes to food. If it takes me longer to cook it than to eat it, I don't want any part of it.
That is so depressing. Life is miserable enough. Your food shouldn't be.
I was
No,
talking to
I'd
Frank
rather
about
spend
that
more time
too.
doing other things than eating. That's
Oh, eating food is one of life's great pleasures.
Oh yeah, I agree with
it's
you.
down there, not
Yeah,
even in
but
the
it takes
top
30 minutes
20 for
to
me.
cook it and 5 minutes to eat it.
Say again,
I'm not
Joe.
saying the time quality equals out because, oh, yeah, I understand that. Busting over a meal that takes me 2 days to make and that takes 30 minutes to eat everything, said and done. Yeah, it doesn't
30
exactly
minutes
work.
to eat. uh, I can't think of any meal that takes me longer than 5 minutes.
7 courses, not 7 courses, like a
I could.
three, 4 course
That's like
meal.
my entire daily supply of food. Yeah,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
get that. I don't get that.
Well, I I think of it like that meme that I've seen. Says, why do they want dinner every single night? you know, and I understand this, pretty well. I've cooked professionally. I've cooked for my family, of course, and I have an agreement with Frank. If it takes you more than 10 minutes to make that meal, scratch it. We'll do something else. We'll figure it out.
I, I cooking for somebody
15
is
tops. 15 tops.
cooking and serving and seeing them enjoying the food that I make is, I guess, a form of. I always hate to use that term, but it is actually best suited. It is part of my love language.
Yeah, it is mine too. I I'm I I guess the best way to put this is my early childhood was very, very deprived. And we didn't have a lot of food. I went to school about 10 pounds underweight at 6,
Ooh.
which is a terrific amount of weight not being there. And my parents were extremely proud and refused any help at all. And it took it took their community to say, look, you will accept this food, you will do it this way, or we are going to press charges. And that changed their mind for them somewhat. But it when you come from that kind of lack, it it really begins to be about the food is also security, it's love, it's all of these things, and sorting that out is a trip. you know.
Oh yeah. I made from my early. Most of my crazy life experiences happens in my 20s. I think that's normal with most people. I was homeless for about a year
I can appreciate that very much.
because of being proud.
Yeah,
So I have bad case, not bad case, it's reasonable, but I have a case of you'll understand this empty breadbasket syndrome.
yeah. Mhm.
And so, where I know a lot of people, Shadow, I understand where you're coming from. I disagree with it immensely, but I understand where you're coming from. It food is not love. Food is not therapy. Well, food can be therapy, but food is not that. Food is food, and most people, food is
Food
food.
is a symbolism. It is not the actual emotion, right?
Right.
And we
And
do
goes down
this to ourselves. I think we lost Joe.
there. Okay.
Anyway, the we have an unhealthy relationship with food quite a bit in this country.
We have a very unhealthy relationship with sugar
Yeah,
and corn syrup.
I agree with you.
Not food, sugar and corn syrup. If we never discovered, if we would have stayed with what the Greeks, the Romans, the Celts, and a few other cultures were using back then, which is honey, our as a nation, we would be 10 times healthier than what we are now.
Oh, I agree. I don't disagree with that at all.
Honey
But
doesn't go bad. If it dries out, all you have to
Yeah,
do
I,
is heat
I,
it
I
up.
think uh, you can't just blame it all on those two ingredients. I think the concept of
Oh,
how much of if you eat too much of any one thing or do too much of any one thing, it's bad. It's the word we need is moderation.
yeah.
and I agree with you.
Well, the
Very
depression
true.
happened in this country, and a lot of people went without, hardcore without. So by the time the Great Depression ended, and a lot of these people were kids, they grew up to be pack rats. And then you have the '80s was the era of excess,
Yeah,
bigger cars,
yeah.
bigger houses, bigger this, bigger that. So you put those two together, those two situations together, and congratulations, you have obesity across the board.
Well, and you're right. My parents were children in the Depression, and they both had uh, just a very strange way of looking at food. They were both pack rats, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy growing up that way. Hi, Joe.
Hi, everybody.
Goodbye.
Hi, everybody.
Goodbye,
Hi.
everybody. I've had a visit from a little brown dog during the glitch I just had.
Aha.
All right, Joe. Have a great week. Hopefully, we'll see you next weekend.
Yeah, and I'll keep picking on you on your own channel.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah. I saw that message. I'm gonna respond to it. I usually wait to do my messages in a batch. Otherwise, it you know
Yeah. Good
Hey,
idea.
that
Joe.
way I don't
Yeah.
that way I don't miss anybody. But I saw that one about the spies and stuff. I will definitely get back to you on that unless you posted another one.
Hey,
Uh,
Joe. You come pick on me on my channel anytime you want. Under the Scar DM, you're always welcome on my show if we're talking about anything of interest to you. Of course, a lot of it we're
hey,
just bullshitting.
I did my fair share of gaming, but I slowly got out of it and figured, if I can handle a hot soldering iron, I can make money.
Well, you tell that little brown dog, give it a big hug for me,
Me
and
too.
tell Maria I said hello.
Okay, I'll give the dog a hug for you too, Nathan. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good night, Joe. Thanks
You
for
know,
Good
coming.
night,
Okay.
Joe.
have a great week,
Good
man.
night, everybody.
Okie doke.
What we were saying about the depression, really, if you wanted to go back to a core root of insecurity and a bad relationship with food overall, that would be where it would be. But it's turned into sugars and processed food and all the rest of it.
I mean, I get processed food for the military because it was God. The
Yeah.
concept of processed food was a lifesaver for the military during World War One and Two. There's just
Right.
no
I'm
way
looking. I'm
around it.
looking forward. I'm looking forward to where we get those jets and food pills. Just take a pill and get on with your life.
God, I would jump
I,
off of the bridge. I would hold hands with
yeah,
Dan
I would too.
and jump off the bridge.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd literally rather do anything than waste my time with the entire obsession over it. If there was just like one kind of food, like one universal thing, that's all we ate, and just went on with it, that would be
Now
so much
see,
freed up time.
I understand your idea but I'm looking forward to when they create that Star Trek
A replicator.
replicator.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I'm waiting for the. I'm ready for the. I'm ready for the replicator and
Agreed
the
there, Nathan.
uh, holodeck. I want the holodeck for my gaming needs,
Yeah.
and you
I think that's a
know,
great idea.
oh, I don't care what system. I mean, if you're in Star Trek, you basically are a living traveler, but in real life. Uh, but oh yeah, I think
Talk about replicator.
replicators would be fun to have for everything but alcohol.
Why not alcohol?
There is magic in making alcohol. I am a home brewer.
Aha! I knew there must be something like that.
Yes. I am very much a home brewer. I make hard ciders and meads.
You know,
Uh,
I really feel that there's a medicinal quality to homemade brew, homemade uh, homemade food, homegrown food. A very medicinal quality to it.
I think
Very
so too.
magical quality.
Yes,
You know, as much as I like going to restaurants, there's nothing better than having a home cooked meal as long as I'm not the one making it.
I think receiving home cooked meals is there's something absolutely special about it.
When my aunt was in
Well,
this area,
we'll save those memories because with the way the economy, they're phasing, they're doing everything they can to keep us from, enjoying those things.
I know.
the only and I understand where people are going with this one. I don't know if it's because I live in Illinois and just things are slightly food wise better here. I don't know what it is, but
I don't know if it's better there or what. I think there's a certain amount of shortages across the board, and I
Yeah,
think
right,
they're all different.
it's like
we,
shadows.
we went to, we went to two different grocery stores and the eggs were almost completely sold out.
Yeah, we're having
Well,
some of that here.
eggs is not because the the chickens.
Yeah, because
Activity.
they were executing them to provide us with a
Manufacture a
short.
crisis.
Thank you. It's getting late.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna. I see. I've heard it differently, but I'm not gonna argue with the guys over it, and that's fine. I mean, what I heard might be wrong, and it is what it is. I heard that a lot of the chicken farmers chickens got hit by uh, what's that flu?
Avian flu.
Avian flu,
Yeah,
so they had to put them down.
yeah, and I've heard it both ways.
So I don't know.
Uh,
I'm
I
not a
don't
chicken
know.
farmer.
In a year where what was it, 50 food processing plants of all different sorts went up in smoke mysteriously. Yeah, I don't
Well,
trust
it's
anything other than the worst option at this point.
yeah. No, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
Um, they're hitting us with it one by one, so we're not keeping track. But some
Yep.
people aren't. I am,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
No,
some of
they're
that
doing everything.
stuff.
They're doing everything they can to break our spirit and keep us locked up back at home again.
Mm, and we'll see if
To a
they can
certain
manage
degree,
that.
we're doing it to ourselves. I remember in the early 2000s, the idea of working from home was a dream come true.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, for the companies.
Oh no, I mean for the people. I'm not talking about the companies. I had large scale people that I deal with through the sport I'm in. It's like I get to work from home now because of the internet. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Talk to the kids and see how much they love going back to school, and you'll understand how opposite it is to human social needs and interaction.
Oh yeah. No, I agree. I think that I think my thought processing is I told my daughter that I don't care what it is, but she has to find at least five social social thing activities to do this year. I don't care what they are, but
I would definitely care what they are.
my
I mean, joining a gang,
that's
come on.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit nervous about that. But maybe it's a
that's
good girls gang. I'm
it,
being totally
that's
sarcastic.
yeah. I know you're being
The
sarcastic.
Pinky
That's
Tuscadero, what were her cronies' names?
well, I
Yeah.
take my daughter out to the local archery place I have in my local area, and me and her go shoot our bows for like 2 hours every other day. I'm trying to talk her into joining the archery team.
Sorry,
And
my loud
I,
typing.
I would I would also maybe consider volunteer of some kind, simply
So
to
yeah,
expose her to social good works.
her mom and her does a food pantry. They volunteer at a food pantry twice a month. I mean, honestly, if she was filling out her college, please accept me in her college. This is how much volunteer work and all that crap.
Uh huh.
She'd be looking pretty. She'd be looking pretty good right now.
Okay. Uh,
I don't. I don't have to worry about boys in her for a while, if ever. I'm okay with that.
reminds me, my dad used to keep a shotgun by the front and the back door.
Man, I don't like to joke about shotguns personally. I had a bad experience with a shotgun and rock salt.
Yeah. But my father was a firm believer in it, and most people that saw him believed too. So it was few and far between that one of us got to date. Those they saw that they were gone.
So my daughter, like almost a year ago, basically came up to me and said, "Daddy, I don't like boys," and I'm like, "Neither do I." She's like, "No, Daddy, you don't understand." And she's like 11 years old. I mean, whatever. She's like, "I like girls." I'm like, "That's fine. I don't care. Whatever makes you happy." If she changes her mind 15 times between now and the time she's 25, I'm fine with that. As long as she doesn't get pregnant until after she's 25.
Well, and we had the same circumstance. When the ex called and said the daughter had something to tell us, and it was ugly. The mother made it ugly, and we just said, you know what? The heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah.
Come home to us. We accept you, and she did. So
Yeah.
I'm with you. That that I'm sure not going to be the one to betray that trust. And it isn't easy for them, and it sure as hell isn't easy for us. But by George, we're behind her. We'll do it. We'll do it together. If we gotta do it together, we'll do it together.
I will
She's
always
going to be
stand.
happy.
I will always stand behind my child uh, to be the support they need or the firm kick in the ass that they need.
Yeah, that happens too. But we've experienced the gamut with child raising, I think. And it's some of it's boy parenting isn't for sissies.
Parenting is not for the weenies. I can tell you that much.
Boy, it sure isn't.
You go back to with the quantum aspect. That the moment you think you got it handled, you think you know what you're talking about. All the numbers match up. That quantum Murphy's law kicks in and says, "By the way, we're changing the rules on you."
Right.
Yeah.
He's too short to reach that knife. Don't worry about it. and suddenly a 2-year-old has the knife. You know. Yeah, boy, I get it.
How did how did it pull the thing? Don't put the fork in the light socket.
No, no.
Wait. No, and the dad part of me, being old school, is like, wait. This problem can solve itself. He's going to shock himself. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Or are you going to do that again? No, it hurts. See,
yeah.
it solved its own problem.
How in the hell did he get up on the doggone refrigerator? That's what I want to know. You know, kid got up on the top of the refrigerator. He's got the cooking jar. He's
Yeah,
18 months old. You know, how did you do that?
there was a I don't know who said it.
We
I
used
was
the drawers as stairs and shelves as ladders. That's how.
But Shadow, there weren't any. I put the daggone refrigerator in the middle of the room to make sure that that didn't happen.
I don't know then. That's weird.
I don't know either. What's
There's
worse,
an
he's sitting in
interesting
the high chair. He's sitting in the high chair. Nothing. What could possibly go wrong, right?
there was a
I
interesting
watched the doggone cookie jar come across the doggone table and into his arms. That's the kind of person I'm raising. You know?
there was a interesting lecture. It was talking about children and immortality and just parenting altogether, which I always thought was like, why would you put immortality into child raising? Was basically my question. But anyways, children from a certain age are closer to the concept of immortality than we are as an adults. They don't know that death is a thing as of yet.
No, they don't know.
They have no concept of it. So if you don't, if you
It
don't know
doesn't exist in their experience.
right, so the crazy crap the kids do, they have no idea that they're pushing a very thin line of oh crap.
Yeah. Well, it's almost 1 o'clock, boys.
It's almost 2 o'clock,
And well, okay, you
in
got two.
avocado
I
time.
got
It's
one
almost
o'clock, and I
11
think
o'clock.
what Nathan, what time is it with you?
Almost 2.
Almost 2.
Me and Connell are in the same time zone.
I think
I
we
don't
better
like
be
it.
saying
Get out of
good
this time
night.
zone. Move to Indiana. There's certain parts in Indiana where they have no time zones.
You need to watch my non-human report. It happened in Indiana. Go there.
Oh man, I don't like Indiana. Every time I go to Indiana, I get in trouble.
Huh. I don't want to know. I already know. No, yeah, I do. It's gonna have
Not
to
all
wait.
not all my stories involve strippers, just the best ones.
Yeah, okay. This has been a fun show. I needed it. I had a rough weekend. Just very grindy and very intense. I had a rough weekend. um,
It's been a hard week here too.
Sorry to hear that, guys. I had a
that's
really good.
okay.
It's
Sometimes
either
you gotta
one
pay the
came out
piper.
on top though.
Not every week can be good. You have to take the good with the bad.
Oh, how would we
No, I
know
don't.
if we had a good week? If we
No,
didn't have
no, I
a few
don't.
bad days.
I was hot
No,
on
Okay.
it's a whole new
Tuesday.
year. I'm only allowing positivity in my universe, and I have spoken.
Glowing yellow eyes. I would like to know how tall this thing is because this is ringing a dogman bell with me.
Thursday night, Christian's glowing eyes in the field.
Yellow.
Yellow, sorry. Yellow eyes in the field that drove past. Yellow, and they glowed within thing. That is you keep on driving creature.
Yes.
That's not the stop and look and wonder. That is, you just keep on
That's
driving,
a
creature.
get the hell out of Dodge creature.
Raven in the chat is from Indiana.
Yeah,
She
no,
knows
another
what I'm
reason.
talking about.
Another reason.
Yeah,
Don't
to
go to
me
Indiana.
that sounds like that sounds like a deer's plug uh, problem for me. It's
Yellow
If it's a
eyes.
dog man,
It sounds like a
nope.
predator of some type because yellow eye.
Yeah, okay.
I associate a yellow eye with a cat.
Still a
I want to
predator.
know how big this thing was.
I
Yeah.
don't.
I think I'm going to be getting Raven. I do. I'm going to be getting Raven on here if she will come on.
I know there's been wolves that have. It's the glowing inside though that makes me stop and wonder.
Makes me think dog man. Thank you, Raven. You guys are awesome and fun.
Well, that's very kind. Thank you very
yeah.
much.
Make sure you come back next week.
I am
Yeah.
obnoxious as hell, and Nathan puts up with my cranky ass.
Well, I will say this because you haven't yet, and that is smash the subscribe and hit like.
I've been needing to say that. I forgot all this time. The obligatory hit like and subscribe. Leave a comment after the show. If you are here, you are quantum.
I like coming on the show because
And aces in my book.
I
Thank
love
you.
coming on the show. Conversations are always fun and unique, especially when you talk about the weird, it being the hollow earth.
But we didn't tonight.
Yeah, we kind of
What happened?
roundaboutly did. We're talking about weird
Well-
creatures with glowing yellow eyes. That's weird.
Well, yeah, out of the last 5 minutes.
Oh,
Uh,
Illinois.
We
This
did
happened
quite
in
a bit on
Illinois.
manifestation.
Happened in Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
your
yeah,
neck of
it
the
is.
woods, bro.
You gotta do that when I'm here, not when I'm on another show, dang it.
That's not our problem. That's a you problem. It's sort of like me having to watch Star Wars is tomorrow problem.
Yeah,
Or later
really.
today problem.
Oh,
depending
that's
on
gonna
how
be
you
a
look at it.
blast. What are you talking about?
Oh, God.
It's gonna be one of the best movies we talked about all year.
You're just saying it because Jack's your kid.
No, I actually, there's only a couple of the movies I don't like. That's the last three, the first one, and Rogue Squadron and Solo.
Rogue Squadron was amazing.
No, I hated that movie. It's
You're-
like I
you're
already
talking
know what's
about
gonna happen.
movie?
I already know what's gonna happen. I don't need this.
Rogue
need is
One
what
is the one
happens.
he's talking about. Oh yeah,
Oh, Rogue
That
One.
was- he's
I was
talking
going
about
to say
Rogue
Rogue
One.
Squadron.
He's talking about
Rogue One,
Rogue
whatever.
One.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Thank you.
That movie, if it wasn't, that movie was only movie. That one and the Disney TV show with what the hell is the name? of it?
Mandalorian.
Yeah, are the only two things that
I
keep
won't have
me.
anything to do with anything Disney ever again.
That's fine. More shows for me.
That's not how that works. Not how that works.
Nathan,
Hey, this is the quantum
Nathan,
show. Rules have changed. Deal with it.
Nathan, I'm going
yes.
to say thank you for inviting me. I've had a lovely time, but I must go now.
Okay.
I will talk to you soon, and everyone in the chat room. Thank you so much for your kind words and your participation. Good evening,
Say hi to
boys.
Frank for us.
I will. Bye bye.
Yes. Bye-bye. It got real late. It's late, y'all.
It is late. Yeah. I didn't, like I said, I love the nights where we have conversations about the weird. I like nights where we just BS with each other. I enjoy the people that you are attracted to your show and to your chat because, as Shadow put it, they all seems to be aces.
Yes, everyone who comes here has something weird about them, or else they wouldn't come. You
part of the-
included.
I'm a misfit. I belong on an island with an elf that wants to be a dentist.
All right. There's going to be more to it. Make all the jokes. They're quantum. There's more to it.
I like making jokes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
As my therapist, my real therapist puts it, it is my default line of I don't want to deal with it. I'll crack a joke.
Oh, right. I hear you. Okay, I am going to. Yeah, they find me somehow. Here we go. It has
I,
found me totally. Totally, it has found me, and I am saying, bring it on. And I'm not. I don't even care what people around me think. They see me talking to my spirit guide. I don't care. Let them think I'm talking to myself. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers got earbuds talking to no one there, and I'm the crazy one. It's okay. Yeah, all this stuff. Uh, Raven, this all started. The in your face stuff started with me a couple of few months ago, and it has just spiraled up. The graveyard. I have hopped realities. I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn, but holy shit, this stuff has happened to me. Right? I'm like hearing thoughts, guessing phone calls. Um, I found psychics in my neighborhood.
huh,
In my neighborhood, I
in your
got
neighborhood.
one at the shoe store, one at Walgreens, and a couple more here and there. But these two were strong at it.
I keep
Like, okay, the psychic shoe store lady put a thought in my head, and I spoke it because I took it as an instruction. Yes, Raven, please do email me. But it was, huh, it's been, yeah, the shoe store lady put a thought in my head, and I and I spoke it, and I told her, I literally told her, you put that thought there. I did not mean to say that at all. I mean, I was going to say nothing like that, but it was such a common thing that she said, this is what he's going to say. And she was expecting it so hard and yelling it mentally so loud. I heard it and I just did it like an instruction. And okay, yeah. Anyway, all this stuff is just rolled fast. Okay, Raven, my spirit guide introduced herself with a Star Wars joke in my
Ah,
head. I'm not even. That's not a joke. That's the serious part.
no, no, I completely understand. I
Yeah.
get that.
She imitated. She's. It was. I was like, oh, that's a good one. Who said that? And yeah. But Raven, welcome to the Quantum Show. I want to have you on at some point because it sounds like you've got experiences too. She's been talking in the chat, and where she lives, she's surrounded by woods. Same here, and has had two full trees disappear out of her yard. I want to
That's
know
weird.
more. Yeah, I want to know more.
Those are some big ass
Wait,
gophers.
this is Raven. Are you from
McMinn.
Illinois? You don't need to say where in Illinois. Are you from Illinois? Because I've been hearing some weird stories of late. So
Trees disappearing. I've heard of that.
that one I have not heard. Somebody said that they found a small island in Lake Michigan one day, and they went out to the next day and it was gone.
Oh, I'm totally not surprised with that. Great Lakes, forget it. It's just totally freaking weird up there.
Which is it is weird. The reason why I think say that one threw me off is because the series of novels I really enjoy, love and enjoy reading. The main character talks about this island that is in Lake Michigan that's was basically taken off all the maps in that area because bad juju happens there. Then a couple weeks ago, this guy says, "Yeah, I was out in Lake Michigan sailing, and I bumped into this island. I thought it was really cool, and I went back, try to get back the next day, and it was just gone." So, oh wow,
Okay. Raven, if you're up to it, I would love to have you as a guest on the show. You don't have to show your face. Turn on your camera. Turn on your mic. Turn off your camera. And that would work.
Raven,
Yeah.
you're from Illinois. Oh, you're from Illinois. Okay.
Okay. Y'all, I am going to wrap it up. Got to take this backstage because I got some behind the scenes things, technical mostly, stuff to discuss. And that is going to be it for the Quantum Show. This has been, where are we at? 3.5 hours of a second hour. And I needed this. It has been a crazy week and weekend. Well, crazy busy, like
Oh,
muggle stuff,
wow.
not weird stuff. I wish weird
Like,
stuff. Uh,
sorry, I'm reading chat.
oh, yes, I think Raven said that's where she is now. She said earlier she's from Indiana. Indiana's a hot spot.
Indiana's really
Non-human report
great.
happened in Indiana at a Comic-Con.
Yeah, the area that she's talking about, I think it is a weird little not hot spot. It's just a weird. It could be a hot spot. Yeah, I've heard some weird stories coming from down there.
Awesome, Raven. We'll line it up. And if you don't want to
Yeah.
come on the Quantum Show here on a Saturday, we can do it at another day. You just got to plan for it. That's all. And cool. All right. I am going to go ahead and end the show, go backstage. Got some tech stuff to talk about. Raven, it's been nice to meet you too. Thanks
You
everyone for attending. And
have a great
hope
week,
you,
everybody. God
yep,
bless.
have a great week and keep it quantum. Oh, yeah.